Hey, True Believers England team here. Twiddles, the world Twiddles. What are you tweeting? I do this every day. Not every day, but at least 3-4 times a week. What are you doing? All right, Friday night. It's hangout stream. Nobody here yet. I left the link. I left the wrong link before I left the right link, though. That was a little bit embarrassing. What you gonna do? We all have our interests, and I just shared mine out with the group. Whoops. But yeah, I wanted to talk about something. I saw Zach talk about. Hopefully he'll join in. But and there's an article going around now about this person from. Let me see what this is from. This is this guy wrote in how I'm a big Marvel fan, but I'm done with the MCU after Quantumania. And this is an ongoing thing. Hey, Jughead, what's up? This is actually something that a lot of people have been bringing up. Look, a lot of people jumped off after Endgame. And the thing is, Quantumania, I'm easy to go as far as movies are concerned. But Quantumania, even I was watching it going, this ain't great, guys. It's not. It wasn't. The problem, I think, is it wasn't even bad. Like, you can talk about Captain Marvel. To me, Captain Marvel's the worst of the MCU. Oh, other than What If. What If is really the worst of the MCU. But Captain Marvel is horrible as well. But Quantumania is a flat line. It's boring. It's dull. And this person writes this article here that's going on about how they are done with the MCU. And I thought, okay, I want to talk about that. But it goes on to more things. More people are actually noticing that what we've been saying all along. This right here, I was looking through it here. He says it's by some guy named Jason Strauss. I'm a lifelong Marvel fan. After Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I'm done with the MCU. Like I said, I know people who are like, I'm out at Endgame, and some people didn't even make it that far. It says, I'm a lifelong Marvel fan. I've collected thousands of their comics, from the Sublime, the Uncanny X-Men, to the Ridiculous. At one point, I had every issue of Dazzle. I wouldn't put that one down as one of the Ridiculous. That was actually not bad. I actually liked those. And I watched Marvel movies and TV shows before they were cool, like Dolph Lundgren's Punisher movie, the awful Nick Fury TV movie with David Hasselhoff, and Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, which, by the way, I've heard people say this right here, is still the best movie iteration of Marvel's first family. Sorry, Jessica Alba. And by the way, if you're hearing some noise in the background, I tried to turn off the TV. It's Walking Dead, but the batteries on the controller just died as I was trying to turn it off. So at some point in time, I'll change that there. But whoops. Okay, where'd I leave that? I took the wrong thing down here. Here it is. Okay. Let's see. Where'd it go? But yes, by the way, a lot of people are saying that the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie is the best iteration of it. Hell, I even worked at Marvel Comics from 2010 to 2013. I love Marvel, but after seeing Quantumania, I've grown weary of all the Easter eggs, the teases, the grand narratives, the quippy dialogue, still constant mocking of code names, Dr. Octopus, whatever, nerd, and the lazy storytelling. I'm now tired of Marvel Machine, and I want to stop. But part of what he's talking about there, I absolutely agree with, because what it boils down to is an embarrassment of the movies you're making. If you're, I like the fact that some, like you see Guardians of the Galaxy, they kind of steered into the craziness. But if you're making fun of the tropes, then it's like you're embarrassed to be making the movies that you're making. It's like you're like, okay, I want to make a comic book movie, but I don't really want to make a comic book movie. It's too crazy. It's too kiddish or whatever. And we got that plenty in the past. I mean, that's why the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie doesn't have him wearing the skull and crossbones. Hey, what's up? Didn't get back with you on the Dick Tracy vintage book auction for Ben Away. Okay. Hey, Patrick, what's up? That more than likely got put back into circulation then there, Patrick. Okay, so it goes on to say, I'll give credit where credit is due. The movie was enjoyable, and it gave a beloved Avenger a proper, if long overdue, spotlight. Frankly, I like the, it's talking about my discontent about Marvel has been brewing for some time. Like many others, I question the need for Black Widow solo movie immediately after Endgame. It's not that I didn't want Natasha to have her own starring vehicle. It was just a little too late. Why launch the next chapter of the MCU with a movie about a dead character set in the past with no real payoff? Still, I'll give credit where credit is due. The movie was enjoyable, and it gave a beloved Avenger a proper, long overdue spotlight. And he goes on to say it's in fact no film besides Thor Love and Thunder in Phase 4 was outright bad. I'm going to agree with him on that. I'm one of the few that actually gave a pass to the Eternals. There were parts I actually enjoyed. Love and Thunder I cannot forgive. I just cannot. All have been at least passably entertaining. Some, like Shang-Chi and No Way Home, reach the heights of peak MCU movies like Civil War. I wouldn't go that high, dudes. Maybe with No Way Home. Yet all have been united by a common flaw that is crystallized in Quantumania. They seem to be coasting off the highs of Endgame and the Infinity Saga, and as a result have lost accessibility and relatability that made the MCU so inviting in the first place. The movies now don't grip me as much as the older one, says Patrick, and that's what this guy's saying. I think they did not do themselves a service with Phase 4. They just didn't. I'm sorry, but you have to make sure that, especially the way they train. See, Kevin Feige screwed up in so many different ways. While it looked like he was doing great, he did screw up in so many different ways, and I'm going to talk about a few of them here. One of them is that we were trained that these movies are going somewhere. And if you're going to have phases, you can't have, I don't think people are going to have patience for another 10 years, another 12 years, or however many it was. If you're going to have a phase, then at that end of the phase, you should have an Avengers type movie that wraps it up. It doesn't have to be the Avengers, could be the Defenders, the Champions, whatever you need. But it needs to wrap that shit up. So all of Phase 4 leads into its final chapter. All of Phase 5 leads into something like, I don't think audiences are going to have 10 years of waiting in them again. It's just messed up. And another way Kevin Feige is screwed up, since I'm bringing it up now, is he himself treated Marvel, the Marvel Studios, like a franchise. It's not a franchise. I've been saying that for a while. Kevin Feige's the dumb one here. I'm the smart one here. It actually says Marvel Studios. It doesn't say Marvel franchise. Marvel is the studios. Captain America is the franchise. Doctor Strange is the franchise. Thor, so forth and so on. The characters are the franchises. And if he had been treating it like that, we wouldn't be so quick to the fatigue. And I hear it right now. Oh, I'm tired of superhero movies. I'm tired of There's not that many superhero movies coming out every year. Not compared to all of the horror films, all of the cop procedurals, all of the well, they don't do comedies anymore the way you used to. But point being is, you are getting 10s and 20, 30, 40, 50 of each in a year. You're getting 4 or 5 superhero movies. The problem being is they're the ones that make money. Therefore, they're the ones that they spend advertisement on. Thus, they're the ones you hear the most about. But in the end, no, it's just not that way. And Kevin Feige trained his audience that Marvel was the franchise. So instead of thinking, oh, well, we got 3 Captain Marvel movies or Captain America movies, we got 4 Thor movies, we only got 3 Iron Man movies. We think that there is what's it up to now? 28. And if you're actually thinking about that in terms of franchises, 28 movies is more than freaking James Bond. And James Bond has been going on since the 60s. So it can seem overwhelming. So I'm going to put a lot of this on the head of Kevin Feige. What are you picking at down there? He's trying to pull a hair out of my leg. Let me see. Shouldn't that title say people are saying Marvel and DC is falling? I don't know what I said. I have no idea. I'm not up. So I was a little bit embarrassed because we've got a shared DM thing, and the first link I shared out was a personal link. You know, by the way, she's hot. But yeah, I shared out a porn link instead. So I was like really embarrassed and kind of in my own head when I was writing out the titles. I have no idea what I actually titled this thing. Yeah, sorry about that. And sorry to the people in the DM I shared it with. On the other hand, she is pretty hot. All right, so let me see. While one could argue, you know what? Other channels would be embarrassed to admit that shit. Hey, man, I'm kind of honest about this stuff. Goes on to say, while one could argue this is just regular Marvel world building, I'd counter that with this. This wasn't world building so much as it was taking a victory lap over past triumphs. There was no sense of momentum in Phase 4 or even an acknowledged sense of the MCU's deliberated fractured state. Instead, it felt like Marvel was coasting. After a decade of sustained success, they didn't need to try. You can't blame them, except, yes, you absolutely can blame them, especially when it results in something as synthetic and lifeless as Ant-Man. Quantumania. One thing I thought about Quantumania, first of all, it's gorgeous. It's kind of weird because I didn't care for it. And if you watch our review, mine and Dalton's review, it almost seems like I recommend it. I don't. I absolutely don't. Yes, Jay, there is an auction tomorrow. Thank you very much. I'm putting something together, but I'm trying to with what I've got here. But I'm actually trying to get a hold of a collection. I hadn't been able to do that, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I was watching. I do not recommend Ant-Man, but I do recommend that if you're going to see it, you should see it at the theater, not at home, because all that's good about it are the visuals. So unless you've got an incredibly huge TV screen that's awesome with a great surround sound, it's actually better to watch it in the theater than it would be at home. That's if you care for the experience more than the money. I live around the corner from a mom and pop shop. So, let's see. What is it about Quantumania that set me over the edge? Okay, I think it's not like it's a bad film or worse, a DCU movie. Ouch. That's right, Snyder fans. The DCU is and always has been awful. Deal with it. Well, that's your opinion. I mean, granted, obviously the DCU doesn't have the greatest of movies, but not all are bad. And in my opinion, all of them have some sort of entertainment value. It's competently made, CGI mostly appealing, with one notable exception. It sets up stakes adequately and gives Michelle Pfeiffer a sizable role to do something. And we have had an argument the other day about, is Michelle Pfeiffer hot? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, too many movies coming out, not enough substance, says Patrick Sargent. Yeah, well, like I said, though, not if you consider or if you think about Marvel the way it's supposed to be. Marvel is a studio. It's just like the comics. It's just like comics. Marvel is a publishing company. They're not a franchise. If you don't want to read Ms. Marvel, you don't read Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel is the franchise. It's just like that. But Kevin Feige trained his audience to think that the entire thing is the franchise. It was the wrong way to go. Problem with Quantumania is pretty much everything else. It takes what was most appealing about the first two Ant-Man movies, low stakes action, a relatively realistic approach to superheroics, lowbrow humor, and throws it out the window. Instead, it shoehorns in a Rebels versus Empire plot straight out of abandoned Babylon 5 script and awkwardly places its every man and every woman in hero roles ill-suited for them. And that's why I like the Ant-Man series. Actually, Ant-Man was probably my second favorite of the franchises. I loved the first Ant-Man. I liked the second pretty damn well. Only Captain America was better. I mean, I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. That's probably third. But he doesn't need to be this wild and crazy. This was an argument me and Dalton had. Dalton's all for the wild and crazy. I'm thinking, I don't know. This seems like an Avengers movie with Ant-Man being the only star and so forth, so on. Let's see. Zach, hashtag blame Zach for hating Michelle Pfeiffer. Was it Zach? I thought it was RDV. It was Zach. Yeah, that's right. It was Zach. Yeah, man, she was hot, though. Why is Ant-Man, an ex-con, just trying to do right by his daughter, now the savior of an alien world? It's like someone typed in how to make a Fantastic Four movie except with none of the actual characters in Chat GPT and came up with whatever passes for Quantumania's script instead. And apparently he's writing the Kang Dynasty. I don't mind sequels mixing it up. I was one of the few who actually liked Halloween Ends. So was I, by the way. I liked Halloween Ends. I know some people are like violently against it. But I thought it was a decent way to go. However, if they should have planned on that, you know, if they had planned it and they built this character up at the end of Halloween Ends, but that's that movie. We're talking about this one. I don't want to see Scott Lang as the leader of a family team of superheroes venturing into another dimension. That's what Reed Richards and his family does. It's not just Quantumania's by-the-number story or misuse of its central characters that put the stakes through the MCU heart for me. I've suffered through enough middling comic book movies to forgive the sins of one movie or show that's in a larger franchise. Surprisingly, it was Quantumania's relatively innocent end credit scenes that made me realize my love for the MCU was over. One end credit scene has Quantumania's lead villain Kang giving a speech in a crowded theater in the early 19th century. The camera gradually reveals that Loki and Mobius are sitting in the audience whispering to each other that they have finally found Kang. This is an obvious lead into the second season of Loki, the first introduced time-traveling villain. So what's wrong? I liked Loki, and it made sense to include those characters in a movie that featured their chief nemesis. Maybe it's just a case of too much too soon, but it struck me as more of a crass advertisement for future content than a genuine tease. Loki has nothing to do with Ant-Man, of course, and the tone of the scene was completely out of sync with the rest of the movie. The second end credit scene had a far worse effect on me, though. After Marvel's next big bad, it's seemingly defeated by an army of overgrown intelligent ants in Quantumania's climax, spoiler alert. The scene picks up right after Kang's death with three ominous men, Ramatut, Immortus, and the Scarlet Centurion, discussing his demise. These men, of course, are all variants of Kang, and as they discuss protecting the multiverse, the camera pans to a stadium full of Kang variants, thousands of them, all screaming and ready to be unleashed into the MCU. This was supposed to be a eureka moment, akin to the shocking reveal that the villainous Thanos is in the first Avenger movie. Yet, reader, I just sighed very heavily as the scene played out. I'm tired. The prospect of all these different versions of the same villain battling an untold number of heroes doesn't excite me. Instead, it exhausts me. And by the way, that's something I said too. They're going to overplay Kang by bringing him over. If they keep showing up and having Kang be the villain, it's not going to work out. Give me just a sec, kids. Hey, Birdie. You gonna be a good boy? All right. Sorry, I'm rewatching The Walking Dead. I'm on the season with the Whisperers coming in. And I had the controller with me, and I was gonna silence it, but the batteries had died. So I'm kind of stuck on that. Hello to Ahsoka. What's going on? To be honest, I agree with this one. I know a lot of people do. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Like I said, I'm one of the easiest people as far as Marvel movies are concerned and all that kind of stuff. And so when you get to a certain point where I'm questioning all of it, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Now, Otis is saying he's not a big fan of Kang. I think they're, and I'll say it about the movies as well as I do comics, there are no bad characters. There's just bad writers. Quantumania had bad writers, and hey, guess what? Kang Dynasty. But the thing is if you're going to have Kang keep showing up and getting defeated, we're not going to think he's a big bad guy when it comes time for Kang Dynasty. We're going to think, okay, well, you know, they'll wrap it up by lunch. Which, if you think about this, that's exactly what Ant-Man did. Ant-Man had more trouble with MODOK than he did with Kang. If you really think about what happened, he's running around, he's meeting all these different creatures. I don't know if you guys saw Quantumania. I'm gonna spoil the shit out of it here. He's running around, he's fighting, and he's interacting with all these creatures of the quantum realm. He meets Kang kidnaps his daughter, says, "I need you to go steal something." So he has some problem with stealing the thing. And then he finds out Kang goes back on their deal. So Ant-Man, Giant Man's up, rushes in, and in real time, you're looking at maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes tops of, and then he's defeated. Ant-Man kicks his ass. Look, I liked some of that as well because I got to see how powerful an Ant-Man can be. I don't understand the growing discs, though. Okay, I'm going to grow in the quantum realm, but I'm only going to grow from, I guess, subatomic to giant-sized subatomic. I'm trying to say atomic. It just doesn't make sense, but okay, I'll go with it. I mean, it's comic books, right? Like, seriously, they aren't having a build-up. They're just throwing everyone at every character at once, so they everyone will fight. That's exactly. And after he's been defeated now twice, do you actually see Kang as a threat? I got to tell you, I do not. Like, seriously, they're doing this. They have made Kang a dollar store villain. Exactly. That's what's going on with him. The growing disc would make him a giant of his normal size. That's what I thought. Like, you turn on that growing disc, all of a sudden he's out of that quantum realm. He's all the way up, but I guess it's got its own thing there, right? I mean, that's what happened with the Wasp. She made the machine grow. Can the MCU be saved? Yes, of course. I don't know what this guy is going to say, but I will say yes, of course. I'm a comic book reader. Have been since the 1970s. And I have read bad runs a lot. You get a bad run of this book, you get a bad run of that book. It just happens. But as soon as a good run of that book comes up, you don't care about the bad runs anymore. And that's what happens here. Can the MCU be saved? Yeah. Obviously, it's going to take a good script, a good movie, the whole 9 yards. But it's also going to take a lot of people who are on the hate train to honestly say, you know what, that good movie was good. I know that's something that not a lot of people can or are willing to do, but it's going to be a two-parter on this one. I think the general public, they're not a part of this whole culture war thing. They're going to have an easier time with it than we do, for sure. But yeah, just if a good movie's good, which we've already noticed with No Way Home, we're willing to do that. What are some vintage books to stay away from? Vintage books to stay away from? I don't. Vintage books to stay away from. Like older comics. Man, I wish Eric were here. Actually, anybody. I left the invitation, and no, not anybody's jumping in. Okay. This is going to change things a bit, I think. All right. I don't know. I think go for anything, really. I haven't read a lot that I didn't like. There are some, yeah, I mean, I even enjoyed the romance comics and such like that when I read them in the past. Also, what do you think of as vintage? Because 30 years for me, when I was in the 1980s, when I was reading comics in the 70s, 30 years ago was 1940s when the golden age was hitting, you know, and so you go back 30 years now, you're in 1990. Would you consider that vintage? Or even 40 years is 1980. Is that vintage? In which case I would probably say, as far as the 90s books, anything marked with extreme, probably stay away from that. Early Image sucked. Some people would say, except for Savage Dragon, nah, that sucked too. Bronze and Silver and Golden Age. What would I stay away from in the Bronze Age? What did I not like? You know what? There's not a lot that I didn't like, to tell you the truth. I mean, even now, because I go to the Bronze Age for so much, I just find them entertaining, and they're definitely better than what you're getting now. I'd more likely say give something a try and try to avoid the modern age more than anything else. But there you go. All right. He goes on to say, has Marvel passed the point of no return? Probably not. There's too much money at stake for it to completely crater. And it must be acknowledged, MCU movies still make enough money for it to continue to chug along. But this former fan needs a break. And I won't return unless they do something to return the MCU to former glory. First, they should stop with the sequels, threequels from the Infinity Saga. Nobody needed Ant-Man to have a complete trilogy. Hell, I'd argue that Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't need a threequel either. And please, for the love of Odin, do not make a fifth Thor movie. Unnecessary sequels that linger in the past prevent the franchise from moving on. Second, ditch the cosmos and go back on to focusing on street-level heroes. That's what made Marvel so appealing to me, and why it's consistently bested its distinguished competition. Marvel's 2023 movies slate is pretty much a wash with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the space romp that is the Marvels. But 2024 has Thunderbolts, Captain America, New World Order, which promises less Kang and more relatable stories. I would say let the Falcon have his own movie before you make him Captain America. But I guess they believe that that's what the TV show is for. Third, dial back the movies and shows. I realize this is an impossible request since Disney likes money, but too much content dilutes the brand. The Mouse House realized this far too late with Star Wars, and look what happened. One very public box office disappointment, and the negative fan reception to 2019's Rise of Skywalker caused the franchise to sit on the sidelines at Disney+. No Star Wars movies have been released since then, and the earliest one is scheduled 2027. Marvel seems to be taking baby steps in this direction, with only Loki 2 and Secret Invasion scheduled to release this year. That's a good thing, Mr. Feige. Now do it for Marvel movies so fans catch their breath. He does. Okay, once again, there aren't 10 or 15 different movies going out. Marvel is a studio. How many movies does Warner Brothers have coming out? How many movies does Paramount, does Universal? Think about that. Marvel is a studio. It's not a franchise. Unfortunately, Kevin Feige trained his audience, like I said, to think of this as a franchise. Nothing lasts forever, especially in Hollywood, and Marvel would be wise to look at their franchise brethren like Star Wars and apply the hard lessons learned by their beleaguered creatives before it's too late. I still love Marvel and hope that one day I can return to the multiplex with the same mixture of fanboy glee and anticipation that I had when Iron Man first flew the friendly skies. All right, there you go. He's not alone. A lot of people are feeling this way. I'm not, because as I said before in many a rant, I've sat through enough freaking romantic comedies. I've sat through enough cop buddy films. I wanted superhero movies. Granted, I thought I would only get them in animation, but I wanted superhero movies. Finally, we're getting superhero movies, and all I hear is bitch, 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 bitch. Shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. Shut up for 5 seconds and think about it. As I said, how many movies does Warner Brothers put out? How many movies does Paramount put out? Finally, your geek asses are being catered to, and all you fucking do is bitch. Now that you're getting too much. Are you kidding me? Shut the fuck up and appreciate some shit. Now, granted, like you, I want the good ones, which, by the way, might not be for you. It might not be for me. Frankly, you know what I think they should do? I think they should start putting superheroes in different genres. They tried, you have Ant-Man, a heist film, a spy thriller with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and New Mutants tried to do a horror film. But I think they should keep trying that. I think they should say, okay, we're doing this. Let's do it in this genre. Let's do it in that genre. I think the bird tagged me. unfortunately, Marvel, in its attempt to make everybody feel like it's all in the same universe, has kind of homogenized the look and the feel of a lot of Marvel movies. And I think that's kind of made everybody go, yeah, but I kind of saw it. I saw this before. I've been there. I've done that. I bought the t-shirts. Yeah. I agree on Marvel is a studio, but is also a production company. Kevin made it seem like a franchise, and yet he knows that that's where exactly. It's like I said, if you think of it as a franchise, in 10 years, we got 28 movies. James Bond is on what, 24 after 60 years? That's usually how a franchise goes. It's not a franchise. It is a studio. It is a production company. And the people who should be like, hey, great, we're getting superhero movies, are literally saying, stop making movies for me. I will tell let's line up the black pills and let me tell them, shut the fuck up. Okay, first of all, not everything is horrible. Second of all, what you're going to get is you're going to get buddy cop films. You're going to get the slasher films. You're going to get the same thing from all of the other studios who've been doing the same thing for 100 years now. We are finally catered to. Shut the fuck up. Honestly, Jesus Christ, what do you fucking need? I'm kind of pissed at that. I kind of worked myself up here. Let's see. I grew up on the vintage books, and I never got on board with the current modern books. Yeah, there's so many good things out there, man. Personally, I'd say go for Dell. I've been having a lot of fun with those. This is why we can't have new things. DC has the best animated superhero movies. I would like to see superheroes in a Western, a Japanese style movie. They did that Batman. First, I didn't like it. Now I just think it's kind of crazy. Posers versus real comic book fans, though the thick and the thin, or through the thick and the thin, says Patrick Sargent. If there were 6 Super Bowls a year, their impact would be lessened. That is true. That is true. But once again, it is not a franchise. It's a studio. So you have Doctor Strange. You have Captain America. You have, and here's also one thing that may be, if DC's putting out 2 or 3 movies and then Marvel's putting out 2 or 3 movies, maybe everybody, I know the general public is probably putting them together. Let's see. Ahsoka saying, yeah, the entire thing is made, made Iron Man and all of those leading up to the Avengers. And it's kind of, Figure's fault that they Feige's fault that they got here is he basically got that. Yep. We're not fair weather comic book fans, not around these parts, not very often. Actually, I don't think so at all, really. I don't think so at all. It's I mean, you know, look who's on the panel, not today, but look who's on the panel. You know, you got some serious comic book readers here usually. I don't know what's going on. Nobody's responded at all to the at all. Nothing. I'm not even getting a hey, this is going on kind of thing. But so there you go. Anywho, one of the reasons why I thought that this would make for an interesting story is because it also goes into something I can't find the tweet, but Zach, where the fudge did I put the? Okay, there it is. Zach actually responded to somebody, and it was I think it was in response to, they were talking about the DC this year. Oh, this is the big summer crossover, and Zach's response was something along the lines of, but aren't there 2 or 3 big crossovers going on right now? I didn't really. Are there? I don't doubt it, but it's part of why people are moving away. And I think this would actually make the superhero movies good as well. We understand that you want to have this big movie at the end, this big end game kind of movie going on. It worked for you the first time, and why not the second? But you have to have those small stories on your way to it. The Avengers was better because we got to know the characters. We did get smaller, more personal stories in Captain America: The First Avenger. Thor, you know, Iron Man 2, and so forth. Even the Incredible Hulk, which I thought was awesome. And I think comic books need to get back to that. Who are the characters? Who are the characters? We get the breakdown, but let's face it, 2022, we're going to have this big summer crossover. It's going to change everything. 2023, we're going to have this big crossover. It's going to change everything. What's it going to change? We don't know because we don't get enough time in the status quo to appreciate what we're seeing. Crisis on Infinite Earths was awesome. I mean, it's obviously the great writing, the great art, but the changes it made those changes to 40 years worth of history. People pretty much ignored Zero Hour as being a big change, but the next one, what was it, 20 years later? The next big change book, The Infinity Crisis, 20 years later, that's 20 years worth of continuity to change. But they're doing these big epic crossovers now, and they have been for a long time, every year, if not 4 times a year. There is no status quo to the comic books anymore. It's like we were saying years ago with the deconstruction, when especially when I was praising the Dan Abnett run. Excuse me, I was praising the Dan Abnett run of Aquaman, and I was like, okay, well, this is great. You got to go buy this. You know, it's one of the best titles on the block easily, and I'd stand by that even now. Okay, we're gonna bring Kelly Sue DeConnick in. Oh, what's she gonna do? Well, I'm gonna deconstruct. Oh, f off. Seriously, if you don't spend time getting to know the characters, there's nothing to deconstruct. There's nothing to break down. It's already broken. And they've done that. They've done that to the point where I've got books by Ram V and Chip Zdarsky sitting in my my pull pile. I don't really care if I ever buy. I've got a pull list because you have to be a subscriber to get the discounts, and the shop is where I might get a Big Dog or something like that. So it's ridiculous. First 4 issues of the Omega Men are more compelling and fun than any modern. We were saying you're going to enjoy those Omega Men. They're a lot of fun, man. The 1980s Omega Men, it's pretty cool. Did a good job. Oh, Ahsoka is saying something here. Okay. Marvel is a studio, yes, but it was a comic book publisher and became a studio because of Disney. It was on the verge of closing, and from the countless failures, Disney popping up a failed business. Yeah. It's an IP farm at this point. Although, wasn't there something like they had 60 titles out at one point in time? Yeah, the characters aren't that good. The writers aren't good. The characters are awesome. The writers aren't good. You need to have a build-up for the first Marvel movie in MCU is pretty good, and yet they have been doing this stuff every year or 4. Once again, I just think as far as that's concerned, let's have some personal films out there. Get to know the characters, explore. If you're going to do a Thor 5, if you're going to do an Ant-Man 3, Captain America 4, whatever, make sure it's a smaller story with maybe a plot through line that ends with the big movie, but don't make it all about the big movie. And that's what I think Quantumania failed at. Instead of being an Ant-Man movie, it was an Avengers movie, and it was all about Kang Dynasty rather than Ant-Man, and that was their big mistake with that one. Let's see. 4 times a year they made changing stuff happen every year, 3 months. Yeah, and after a while, who are you reading? Who are you reading about? And don't be stupid with your changes. One thing I complained about very early, and I'll still complain about it because it's stupid as Elektra would never take Daredevil's identity. Elektra's too proud. Elektra's too strong. She may agree to fight in Hell's Kitchen, but she wouldn't take her boyfriend's identity. And other people, I don't think, would call her that. It's like if Eric and I just changed clothes and he started calling himself me. you guys wouldn't be like, oh, England teen. You'd be like, why the fuck is Eric wearing your clothes? And people, they write these characters idiotic that they're going to see Elektra and Daredevil in a Daredevil outfit and go, oh, you're Daredevil? No. It's ridiculous. It's kind of stupid. I just want to have Peter and Mary Jane be happy. I hear that ain't going to happen anytime soon. My guess is they'll put Mary Jane with Black Cat together before they will put Mary Jane and Peter Parker together. That is my guess on that. There's going to be some talk about how Mary Jane is bisexual now, and hasn't Black Cat always been? And then boom, there you go. That's just my guess anyway. All righty, kids. What else is there to talk about in this universe? I really was looking for stuff too, because it just there's nothing. I've got other things like for the other channels and everything, but oh my goodness gracious. Oh, what is this? At Disney California Adventure, they're going to do the musical Rogers. You know, it was in the Hawkeye TV show, so now they're going to be bringing that up. Okay, why not? Let's see it. I'm all for it, man. I would love to check it out. Kang is at a meet and greet now. Yeah, I was looking for stuff to talk about, but there just isn't anything going on, unless maybe you're actually reading the comics. So I should try doing that at some point in time. Unfortunately, I thought I would be reading more comics these days, but aside from Danger Street, I still haven't. Hey, MK, what's up? Not much of nothing here, guys. I'm actually wrapping up, I guess. But let's see, Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 80. If that's the original, isn't that the one with J. Jonah Jameson? And I'm trying to think back, or I don't know. Let's see. Different. I'm just trying to see a question or something. To be honest with you, Mary Jane and Catwoman are either the same person or sisters. Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear the WB CEO conference call got leaked? Spilling the beans on MK12, and fans are going nuts. No, I didn't. I haven't. In all honesty, haven't played a Mortal Kombat game since they teamed up with DC. I think that was the last one, that DC versus Mortal Kombat. I liked that game. I thought that game was cool, man. I played that a lot. I wish it actually played on the Xbox One. I don't have the Xbox 5 or anything like that. I have the Xbox One. What's up? What's up with you? Staring down from there. There you go. There you go. All righty. He's looking up on me with these little black birdie eyes of his. But let's see. I mean the fact that J. Jonah found out Peter's identity and treated him like a son. Oh, I remember that. They did that again. What was it, in about 4 or 5 years ago in the Peter Parker title? Chip Zdarsky was writing it. Yeah, and to be honest, I see that in JJ character is before this for like 15 comics. They had JJ being closer to Peter. It's pretty cool. Jay's saying, I like DC versus MK2. Underrated. Very underrated and very enjoyable. I'm a sucker for it, though. Look, I'm a geek. I love comics. It's on the channel title. I don't hide it. So if they're offering me video games based on the characters, if they're doing movies based on the characters, yeah, I want to see them. Like everybody else, I want them to be good. But I do want to see them. I want to play the games. Sometimes you get Batman Arkham City. Sometimes you get Batman Dark Tomorrow. You know, that one sucked. Anybody play that? Holy crap, was that broken? I thought Plastic Man is an underrated book back in the 40s and 80s. Police Comics, one of my favorite. Plastic Man was one of the characters that got me into reading. The story, I actually have a comic book origin story on myself because, you know, narcissist. And I mentioned that I got this, it was a hardcover. I don't really remember details too much. I'm talking, I'm like 4 or 5 years old at this point in time. And it had Flash Comics #1. I know that for sure because it had both Flash and Hawkman's origin story, their first appearance in it. And it had the Plastic Man story from Police Comics #1. And I love Plastic Man. Plastic Man is just a joy to read. If you ever get a chance to read Golden Age Plastic Man, I say go for it. Do it. Well, are you going to... Here you go. Hop on. No. Okay. Here he goes. There he goes. He likes to hang on the wire. Alrighty. That hurts. Yep. Okay. There you go. He likes to hang on the wire here for some reason. So if you ever see him jump down onto my leg, he's really looking to climb onto this. And now he wants to chew through it. So I don't... Oh, there you go. All righty. What do you think is going to happen there, boy? There you go. Okay. There you are. I watched the Disney thing with 12 live action thing with Arnold and Edward Furlong. That was so cool how they did that dark future. What are we talking about? MK, you got me a little confused. Are you talking about the Terminator ride? Is that? Because, by the way, that was awesome. If you guys ever got a chance to, you're lucky. The Bourne Spectacular, I showed a little bit of it the last stream. It is pretty cool as well. Let's see. James Gunn wrote the entire, what are we talking about? I mean, if you want them to be a writer for the, Dawn of the Dead, the remake. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Batman Returns 92, Super Nintendo. Underrated game right there, kids. That's for sure. I actually liked Batman Forever as well, but it was one of those side scrollers where all the enemies come up and you start, and you start kicking their asses and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty cool. I like that one. And the one, I believe it was it was based on the animated series, and it was on GameCube and all sorts of stuff at the time. That was pretty cool. Let's see. MK, you want to jump in? Actually, if anybody does, I shared out the link and no takers. I'm wondering what everybody's going to do here tonight. Everybody has taken my ideas and that I no longer do and ran with them. I noticed what's her name? Tristan had another Thunderdome today. I would do them, but I don't have anybody to compete in them. And of course, the comic book readings that Geeky Puppet Show do, that started over here, and then they started doing their own. And okay, have at it. Let's see. Oh, sorry, the T2 footage. It's on here on YouTube, like a thing where Arnold is on a bike with Connor fighting the T1000, chasing him, avoiding his and other machines of the future. Once again, that might be for the Terminator attraction at the parks. Puppet Show's going on. Well, that explains why they're not doing it. They're now doing it at 10 o'clock. Fuck it. I'm starting my shows at 9. I stopped doing shows at 9 and started doing them at 10 so they could do their show clearly. And now they're doing it at 10 o'clock. So, yeah, it's, wow. Seriously, that's going on right now? I mean, that's... Hold on, guys. Geeky Puppet Show. No, they're not live, are they? No, they're not live. Unless it's something else. They started at 9. They started at 9 and it's still going. Huh. Yeah, that's why I started doing these, because usually I start my live streams at 9 o'clock, but they would do theirs starting at 8 and it would go over. So I would start doing my live streams at 10 so, you know, give them a chance, because a lot of times their audience is my audience. I didn't want to take their audience from them. I want to give them room to grow and such. Okay. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be, I guess. All right. Hey, Trusty, what's up? Yeah, I left the link. If they want to come on, they can come on. I definitely need other things to talk about and such, but the bird's going crazy here. There you go. You need to fly around. You don't have to hang out with me, and you definitely don't have to chew on my wires. Go on, go on. There you go. He's got the entire thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow we are doing an auction. I'm going to try to get a new collection, but it might just be a discounted version of the stuff that I had. Unfortunately, I'm at a point where it happened. Couldn't afford. Actually, I couldn't find anything good. I do have a lock on one that's going to be in for a couple of days. Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Hey.
I talked about something you said. You guys are doing these readings later and later.
Yeah, today was a weird day. So normally on Thursdays, VENKMAN and I do like our comic book review streams, but we weren't able to do it yesterday because VENKMAN was out of town. And so he added that to the list of streams going on today, which I wasn't able to make because I had a pre-existing stream already set up. So stuff just got pushed back. I didn't even make the first comic reading. I was doing an interview stream with Skip and Tosh. So y'all be on the lookout for that on his YouTube channel, by the way. So yeah, no. So what's going on?
I talked about what you were talking about. I saw a reply you made where you were talking about how the DC, we have this big summer event coming. You're like, there's already 2 or 3 going on right now.
Oh yeah.
And I talked about that as being one of the reasons why comic books are just freaking failing right now. They're not making personal stories. They're not making anything that we can connect to as people. You need to connect to the characters. And unfortunately, I keep going back to a quote from Kingdom Come. They're starting to put the super in front of the man. They're not caring about the character. They're caring about the superpowers. They're caring about the superheroes. If you have a side character nowadays, they are going to get superpowers and they're going to become, I mean, that happened to Mary Jane recently. So they're not going to be superpowers, side characters.
They gave her superpowers and then they called her Peter Parker's sister, basically. So she got a double whammy.
All right. No tier list. Check out Mary Sue or other comic book websites. Wait, what? What are we talking about? Here to be in the peanut gallery. RDV just got thrown under the bus. I think honesty was told.
I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just saying.
How about a tier list? No tier list. Check out Mary Sue or other comic book websites. What are we checking out?
Oh, yeah. I think Ahsoka was saying, how about doing a tier list? And Maranya was like, no tier list. I would mind doing a tier list. I haven't got to sit in on an England team tier list stream, but it's up, obviously you're the host.
Well, hold on. Let's see what is the Mary Sue talking about anything these days?
I was about to say, I don't know. I don't visit the Mary Sue. I know
I haven't in a long time. It's time for the MCU to bring in the A-Force. That's an article. Will this be the year our favorite snotty heroine finally returns? That's the Snot Girl or whatever her name is.
Oh, Snot Girl. Oh, interesting.
Oh, F you. Oh, go fuck this Rachel. What's her name at the MCU? She can sniff my anal vapors. I cannot even freaking believe that this is going on. What up, yo?
Oh, I've got to know what this is.
Yo, what up?
Not much of nothing. That is from the Electric Company book, Spidey Super Stories, right?
Nope.
Nope. Oh, okay.
Okay,
kids.
That's when the Prowler had to pretend to be Spider-Man because he had blurted when he had the flu, told everybody that he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So.
From Spidey Super Stories.
No.
Unless
there's a reprint in there. No, it's from Amazing Spider-Man.
Or maybe they just drove it. Meet the Suicide Squad. Wait, no, the Creature Commandos. You douche nozzle. You freaking
that kind
moron.
of upsets me.
You know nothing of comics. I'm going to say it right out loud, Rachel Ulatowski. You fake geek girl. Who do you think came first? Jesus, Lord in heaven. You know what? Okay, great. Yeah, you know what? We need comic book writers and artists who could do their jobs. Can we also get comic book journalists that maybe have read something before 2013? Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. Could we? James Gunn recently revealed several plans, blah, 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 yada, yada. The title, first chapter, Gods and Monsters, okay. And there was one animated project confirmed to be Creature Commandos. It had the honor of being the first project Gunn revealed during his statement. Development of this series seems to be well underway, with Gunn sharing a peek at some very detailed key concept art. He also revealed that he is the writer behind Creature Commandos, which follows a superhero team of the same name from DC Comics. While not all viewers will be familiar, blah, 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 yada, yada. Gunn's plans for interconnective. Okay, was that just a shot? Creature Commando? That's a fucking commercial.
It really is. It's just one of those things meant to get you to click the thing.
That's it. Oh, the clickbait word.
Stupid.
I was ready to go, man. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to He-Man.
Now, it is stupid because I have seen people, because they see James Gunn's name and they see, you know, this ragtag military team, so they just automatically assume it's like in the same vein as the Suicide Squad.
Here I am. I turn into freaking Ralphie. I'm looking for the story that goes off on my Creature Commandos, only to go, it's a freaking commercial. Drink more Ovaltine. That's how I feel on that. I was about to be with you. That is a freaking cushy job right there.
Gotta basically, I bet you she got paid all of like $20 to do that too.
You know what? Do it 5 times a day. But hey. Here's all the information that was given out. James Gunn is writing a cartoon called Creature Commandos.
Mm-hmm.
That was all the information that article had. We already knew that. Oh, yep. I thought the Mary Sue was useless before, but wow, they are proving themselves.
You know, if you just show them this photo I have right now, they'll think that Peter Parker wear blackface.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I usually do not go to Mary Sue anymore.
I stopped going there once I caught something. You know, I just didn't want to go back.
I haven't been since they had that one. What was that? Was that it was like a list or something, like the top books of 2022?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because some of those were pretty accurate.
They were all from 2021. They weren't even from 2022.
That's true. There was not all of them, but there was a good chunk of them from 2021. It's like y'all misunderstood the assignment.
Let me see if I can't. I saw you had what looked like you were talking to somebody with a Justice Society.
Oh yeah, I was. There's somebody I follow, and they do post a lot of Justice Society stuff.
Is this shit that Zach posts? The new segment.
I was about to say, oh no, am I the new Neil Adams?
Because he does get in a lot of Twitter fights.
I do pick a lot of fights on.
Oh
Twitter.
My gosh, yes, I saw that. I was looking for your. I was looking for the tweet that I wanted to talk about, and all I could see was, "Hey, you some bitch, come at me! Hey, you some bitch, hey, you some." I mean, you weren't saying those words, but. That's basically
it was that tone. It was that. No, this past week I have been hopped up on medicine. I thought I had COVID earlier this week. It turns out I just have a really bad sinus infection. But I was like laid up, all sick and everything, and so the medication got the better of me.
Zach, but you gotta stop yelling white privilege in your responses.
Well, speaking of, I've been with Jean Gantry on this whole Aunt Jemima thing. She's for those of you who don't know, Jean Gantry's a black girl who has been called Aunt Jemima. They tried to make it an insult. She's not buying it. My whole thing, of course, is that these wokesters had done such a great job in trying to protect black people that they've or just anybody who's not a white male, that they have eliminated all mascots who are not white males off of the grocery store shelves.
The Indian girl who was on Land O'Lakes Butter, she's gone. Uncle Ben's gone.
Doesn't matter.
You know, like
done.
Yeah,
I'm surprised
that Uncle Uncle Ben's still on the rice, isn't he?
No.
No, they took him off.
And she was arguing with one guy, and I mentioned, this it was made like 25, 30 years ago when they changed the icon to a successful businesswoman. And this dude that she's been arguing with says, they didn't change her. Black people got mad. No, actually, that's not what happened. They just understood that in the new PC culture, it wasn't going to fly. So they updated the image of Aunt Jemima. And then he goes, and they kept the slave name. As soon as the slave name came out of this guy, I said, you know what? You're not serious. I said, this guy's a troll. He's either a troll or he's one of those, whatever the black version of KKK is these days. And he's going to start arguing why black olives are in a can. And he's going to tell you that pool is a racist sport because the white ball is not supposed to hit the black ball. It's just, he's ridiculous. And I've seen way too many rich black people tell poor black people they can't succeed in this country. And too many poor black people defend that. The worst of it, there was a video where this young black immigrant girl is talking about how you guys are full of shit. You're full of shit for letting them convince you that your skin color is going to stop you. And the black people were siding with the white woman saying, no, these guys can't do shit because they're black. While a black person saying, no, you can, you just got to stop thinking like and she's telling all of her accomplishments. I've seen way too freaking much about that. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I got into that argument.
What do you mean by black people?
People with dark skin. Yeah. Let's see. Uncle Ben Parker should not be on the rice, says Glenzer. One is ratioed on Twitter when they have more comments than likes. Okay, I got it. Jolly Green Giant is racist. He is a foul-tempered white giant and green face. I mean, that could be BLM, but BLM is just a scam. Yeah. And here's the thing. If something I'd never understood straight from the beginning, if you're incapable of seeing black lives in All Lives Matter, that's on you, dude. That's on you.
Here's something.
Oh, but we're not talking about, you know what? It's been like 8 years. Time to talk about it.
You know what I heard? Did you see that video go around where George Soros openly endorses Ron DeSantis as the next president?
Oh yeah, I kind of figured that something like that was going to happen. See, George Soros does that, and then maybe some people go, "Hey, no!" And then there's a riff in the Republican Party. Personally, here's how I would go.
There's a lot of people that want Ron to run, though. That's the thing.
Trump first, DeSantis or Nikki Haley second, and then the other one third.
I wouldn't want Nikki Haley whatsoever.
I would want them better than any.
I like Nikki.
Any Democrat on the lot. I would like her better. Let's see. Pianos are racist because there are too many white keys and they're larger.
Yeah, Nikki Haley's going to, I guarantee you, if DeSantis isn't running, Nikki Haley is going to be their choice. That's the Republican rhinos who want Nikki Haley.
What on earth? That pool logic doesn't even make sense. Okay, so here's the thing, Austin. See, the white ball, the white man controls the entire field of battle. Basically, the world that the pool balls exist in. The white man controls it. Boom. Now, the only way that you can win the game is by knocking every other color into the pockets. Get them off the field of battle. Get them out of the world. And the game ends when finally that powerful white ball knocks the black ball off the face of the earth. And that, my friends, is why pool is the most racist game in history. I shit you not. I shit you not. That is, there you go.
The more you know.
Oh, this talk about balls make me hungry.
Yes.
Oh.
I'd like to see DeSantis presidency with a Trump vice presidency. That would be interesting.
It'll never happen. He'll never settle for vice president.
Trump would never do that. And I'm actually interested to see. Hey, Tevia, what's up?
Hello. What's going on?
I would be interesting to see if Trump would be vice president after he does his 2 terms as president.
That's never gonna happen. He's done.
But I would like to see him as Speaker of the House.
Ugh.
Wait,
No,
why?
I feel Trump the better. I don't want to have politics.
Well, you came on and you said something there, man. You ready to back it up?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay, I thought so. Okay, no worries, no worries. BLM should be like bowling. Let's see. I don't even know the rules of pool. Okay, no worries, man. No worries. But there you go. That's the explanation that somebody like that would give. I am not a race baiter. I can't be. I just don't give a freaking hell. I honestly don't. I can't care about that kind of thing.
I hate races. I would never.
Same.
Well, at least they give us content.
Well, I mean,
did you say you hate racist?
Yeah.
Or did you say you hate races?
Races. I said I'll never run.
Yeah, I just don't like running, man. Running.
I hate running too. I just wanted to make sure I had you right.
Well, but for record, I do hate racists, but I tolerate Zach.
Yeah, there you go.
Because Zach is not a racist. Just in case you're new to this channel, Zach is not a racist.
I'll believe you, Krang, any day, right?
Did you say Krang?
Yeah, we read a book and there's like a sound effect. It went Krang. Wow. It's like metal hitting something, and so we just rhymes with Kang.
Isn't Krang the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? That's Krang, right?
Yeah, and TMNT.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Cartoon series, yeah.
Side note, this is the best Kang the Conqueror panel I've ever seen, where he says, "Taking over America makes me thirsty," and he steals this girl's lemonade.
Well, nice.
True villainy.
Right.
I'm glad he reached for the lemonade, not the girl. If you're saying he's thirsty.
Hey, I really didn't win POWELL. It's really the image. That was great.
Okay.
The name of image that one the guests have. I like pickles. You have to do win POWELL. That's great.
Okay. Let's see, Mario, the racist for them all. That's actually clever. And a full lemonade is like 10 cents. Well, hey, it was the 70s.
Yep.
10 cents could buy you a few pieces of candy back in the day.
10 cents I to buy you a comic.
Well, not in the 70s. 70s, we were 35. For my time in the 70s, it was 30, 35, and 50.
Ow.
That's I think 50 was more like in the 80s. So
I will take 50 versus $5 for sure.
Yeah, but then again, once my first job, I made $3.86 an hour.
You working under the bridge that long?
No, I definitely make less than that under the bridge. But it's I'm older now. What you gonna do? No, but I worked at a movie theater for $3.86 an hour. I actually made more money, by the way, when I was younger, because what I would do is I would go up and down the road to businesses. Is there anything I could clean? Is there anything I could go get? Do whatever. And so they would give me money to go get food for them from the grocery store, from one of the restaurants around, and or I would empty garbage cans. A lot of times they admired the spirit. Like, oh, okay, I'm here to work. Let me make some money. And so I actually made more money an hour when I was a little kid doing that than I did when I actually got my first job at a movie theater. So for 10, you could call someone, it's your Kang, do what you want to do. But yeah, that was something. That was a lot of fun too.
Anyways, as far as the topic of the falling, I'm confused about that. Because what does that mean? Like, are you playing the movie side of things or the comic side of things? Comic side of things have to collect the fucking such for awesome. I hate when it makes Spider-Man fucking garbage.
Well, that's actually all I heard was the effing garbage.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let me phrase that. I mean, when talk about the other seen a Marvel DC have fallen. Like I'm confused about that topic. Like I'm lost.
Others
Yeah,
saying
he's
Marvel,
asking about the title of your video. How Marvel
What is
and
the
DC have
title?
fallen.
Others are saying Marvel and DC have fallen.
Yeah, but I'm lost because the movie side things that's a different time in itself. Because he's trying to
I covered both comics and movies before you guys got on. I actually covered both.
Yeah, I know.
I took 15 on one. I took 15 on the other. I started with the movies, and I
you were
ended
just
with the comics.
the warm up act for us.
Yeah. Now we're just hanging out. Now we're at the whatever you want to talk about phase. Or Ahsoka wants to do a tier list. Maranya doesn't want to do it.
I'll tell you right now. Since you're slowly getting the comic books, and you really don't, and you're like at the point you're like, I really don't want to spend that much. Check out Josh Williams' Superman. It's on its first year.
It was really good.
Okay.
Good to remember we have an Action Comics.
Yeah, I did finish all the books I bought. Dead Street is good. What else did I read? Stillwater's still pretty good. Let's see. What did I like Darkwing Duck. I didn't really care for Gargoyles. Not my thing. Yeah. God bless you if it's your thing. I'm with you right now. Insulting. It's just not mine. I
made it on this week's Gargoyles. I'm done with it. Darkwing Duck, second issue, great.
Wait, you're tapping out of Gargoyles 3 issues in?
Yeah, dude. Have you ready to get it all?
No, I didn't pick it up. I already had 13 books, so that and Darkwing Duck, I pushed it off to next week when I have a lighter pull list.
Yeah, I'm cutting back on books, and like I said, that was just
Flash. Flash been excited about it. You ever had Flash book? Chef Kiss, amazing.
Oh, the show.
Okay.
Flash was good.
Flash was good. Flash has been awesome since Reaper. That's
the most consistent book ever in DC, and it's a walk right there and me. Yeah, so happy because unlike baby comic and Marvel, dude, the fuck is Spider-Man or destroy the care about garbage. DC I think I had to move forward because I had a third kid. Gee,
it's weird the way that right now I guess one could argue that Marvel, even their woke movies, have the better movies than DC, where DC has the better comics right now.
Okay, that makes sense.
The word woke is not what people mean. People take that word and take it out of context.
I mean, the reason I say this with the comic books, at least, is because DC's actually putting people like Mark Waid, and regardless of what he's done, as himself, his writing so far since War Finest and everything else.
Yeah, you don't have to do that here because I think everybody here is.
Well, no, I throw it out there because you're like, oh, he's a piece of shit. I'm just saying. Some people cannot get past what somebody does, and so if he were ever to say something, people are going to cancel him on that. Now, but if they say he's a phenomenal singer or writer or whatever, they will just I don't want nothing to do with them because he did this. It's like, and it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It's comic books, they cannot separate the two. It's like now, like I say, my point is though, you got Joshua Williamson wrote a solid first issue Superman. It's back to basics. It feels like, dude, it feels like post-crisis to me a little bit.
This was a great issue. I also got the Nick Dragata cover. Shout out to Nick Dragata. He's who we had the interview with on Skip and Tasha's channel.
Oh, awesome.
He just did the cover. He didn't do the interior. The interior
that's
was
that's
Jamal
nice.
Campbell.
That's a nice cover.
The reason I've been enjoying Superman this issue because there's no Jonathan Kent whatsoever mentioned there.
This was a good issue too.
Yeah, that was dude. That was a filler issue, and it was awesome.
Yeah, not even Dan Moore art.
No, it's Emmanuel Lupacino.
Yeah, Scorch. This is
Spawn.
15.
Spawn.
Good.
Yep.
Great.
This was actually pretty good. I went out on a limb and picked up a Nightwing. This is pretty good.
That book was good. That book been dragging since issue 87. I think I don't know when issue went.
I'll tell you what. What if I make? Hold on. I want to address the chat here. What if I make a day for the tier list or stuff like that. Like if we go Sunday's really the day that I don't have anything to do. It's nobody else. I'm not jumping on anybody's tail or anything like that on Sundays. So why don't I make up a tier list? I've got the Justice Society right here.
What about
also,
the Justice Society?
Somebody just mentioned a Black History Month one.
Oh yeah, Ed Brewer says do a black hero tier list.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be done.
Gems.
Valiant Book of Shasha, The Letdown, Omniscient.
There's a lot of books that I just stopped getting.
Yeah,
this is one you need to be getting.
Junkyard Joe.
What is Junkyard Joe?
Yeah, Junkyard Joe.
Yeah.
And currently
it's in the Geiger universe, right? Yeah, Flash.
Yeah, the Geigerverse.
Like,
Look at that.
It's not really the Geigerverse. There's a specific name for it though, but it's
I think it's the guy. I think it's the Geigerverse.
No, it's called something else.
Oh, okay. This was really good too. You picked this one up, Venkman? DC's?
Yep.
That was really good.
Alfred is actually
Alfred got jacked.
Yeah. Alfred got a good power up.
Yeah, he did.
I say, I hate Tom Taylor with a passion. And DC's is the only thing that I think he's actually that I've read is actually good.
Well, Nightwing wasn't bad. I think whenever he's writing the Titans as a team, he doesn't do terrible, or he hasn't done anything offensively bad.
My fear is that. Well, you saw what he did in the Knights of Steel, or Elseworld.
That is great. That book is amazing.
I stopped reading Knights of Steel.
Have you seen the twist?
Lesbian Supergirl.
I saw several twists. There was the one where where like Clark and Bruce were raised together.
Nope.
Right? There were several twists.
Not that one.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Ethereal, what's up?
Hey, Ethereal Dragon.
Wait, should I spoil it if you got it?
I mean, I stopped reading it. Like
reading it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, don't do that.
Just because the panel's not reading it.
Yes. Undid Quiz also bringing up Batman Adventures Continue. It's been a fun book.
Yeah.
Last issue was funny, but there was a little bit of because they had to introduce or have Harley in there, so they had to mention that she's gay.
It stopped being funny after the second time, Jay.
Let's call him Dragon.
Tom Taylor's.
No, he says he keeps saying Tom Taylor's going to take over the Flash.
That's not going to happen.
He's giving it a start date in July. Now he's calling out the time.
Yeah, for Injustice. Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah,
the only thing I've read by Tom Taylor that is decent was Superior Iron Man. I didn't like the concept that he executed. He's the guy that does Deceased, though.
Yeah,
he did Deceased.
That's actually pretty good.
Deceased was good, and Injustice was good.
Injustice was good, but now he's bringing it back. Now it's going to be
having John Golden Justice.
God dang, what have I been? Oh, I've been also reading those One Bad Days, but really I've been reading Aquaman and Daredevil. Like that
was good.
You know how you pick up a book, you put it down, you pick up a book, you put it down. I bought the trades, the Frank Miller trades, and I never picked them up, never tried to read them, and then just I started skimming and I'm hooked. So, yeah, and that was in the middle of me reading the Aquaman. I've got this Aquaman trade paperback. It's the story where baby Aqua Baby dies. I got that Ollie's of all things. So,
oh wow, I almost stopped in Ollie's today, and then I didn't at the last minute. Now I'm like, I should have gone in there.
You should. If they might have some of those awesome omnibuses and everything.
They might. I'll need to go back out and check.
Yep.
I'm always skeptical of animated shows returning decades after it ended, even when the original creator isn't involved. Well, yeah, because times change, thoughts change. Deceased was okay to me. I'm not a zombie fan, says Maranya. One cartoon I started watching. I know I get this. Oh, you got to watch Gargoyles. You got to watch Gargoyles. So I was like, okay, finally, I'll watch this stuff and give it a review. So I'm looking for cartoons on Disney Plus, and I run across the 1980 Spider-Woman, 1970 Spider-Woman cartoon.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I've got this on Blu-ray and I haven't watched it. Oh, let's give it a try. Click, you know. And, and here I am, like I'm like, well, this is not great, but it would have been good for the time. And I'm caught like 4 episodes in. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll put on something else. But that was kind of cool. Made me want to watch. Made me want to watch and review all of the Spider-Man is an Amazing Friends. If they have it, Thing Ring, do his thing. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Dark Knight Steel. I like the concept, but the execution is horrible. No, says our Ollie suck. The trades are just piled on a table. Yeah, ours did that when they first started getting the books as well.
Spider-Man animated with a long time ago during the 70s.
Let's see.
Yeah, there was a Spider-Woman animated series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was shocked when I saw it.
It was pretty about Jessica Drew.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Spider-Woman steals everything from Spider-Man.
Not really. Right. Spider-Man was created because Stanley wanted to make Spider-Man before anyone else actually do it.
Yeah, it was the same I think it was the same team that did the Spider-Man Amazing Friends that did the same as because she the
the animation looks similar. Yeah.
It's the same animation. Same people did that show. Did this show. I think Spider-Man only one season. And again, this is before the retcon. Before she was a Hydra agent.
Oh, wrong one.
Like double agent, Shield. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, the double agent, triple agent. I actually like that story. That was one of the better parts of New Avengers, where Spider-Woman. Well, it was until it's then revealed that she was a Skrull the whole time.
Yeah,
I was like, thanks, thanks, Bendis. Yeah. I cared, and then it turns out it was a Skrull the whole time. It's like, oh,
yeah, the Queen.
I don't care so much. Yeah.
Then the Queen died. Norman Osborn was called the Dark Reign. Then to the bullshit and Secret Invasion, which would actually led into not even Civil War, but destroyed Peabody's Spider-Man story. And now we're stuck at Fast Spider-Man story. That's so garbage to point that. Now people are saying, "Man, you're not a sister to me." Bullshit. That makes no fucking sense. There's no way now people are calling Mary his sister. This makes no sense. What the fuck are they smoking? Shoot me in the
head. Is something.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, that's that pose that got that artist in trouble.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's obviously it's cheap 70s animation, but you know what? Come on, good times to be had with this stuff.
They look like they're wearing party hats when you freeze it at the ankle.
That's true. It does. I was looking for Gargoyles. I found that, and I was like, okay, let's watch this, and just kind of got hooked. That's
cute.
It's silly and it's stupid, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's silly age, but it's fun.
The thing is that the 1980s animation, that's all like that, man. I found I watched Super Friends. I'm that age, man. I'm the age where Super Friends was the most awesome thing ever on Saturday morning. It's a grand freaking cartoon. I watched him like, whoa, this is something, man. It wasn't as, obviously it's just very simple. And let me see if I can't find it here. Oh, by the way, I will say this. if you're talking about animated, no, excuse me, if you're talking about animated cartoon theme songs and all that, Super Friends has to be the best. I mean,
I got to disagree to that one.
One second. It is just that whole thing right there. I have to stop it before, because it's going to get copyright.
Right.
But it's a very simple animation. But damn, that theme song was hot.
Yeah, the theme song was good, but honestly, my best theme song was the 90s Spider-Man show and Spectacular Spider-Man and Avengers EMH. Oh, that and X-Men the Animated Series.
I don't know. I kind of like that. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I mean that's just badass.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron Rugg, what's up? Spider Woman looks like a woman. God bless the 20th century, says Glinzer. A teen cartoon, says Patrick. The Challenge of the Super Friends. Batman the Animated Series theme song has entered the chat. Alrighty, Super Friends. By the way, I actually have a what do you call it? Neglected Rumble account. And they do let you do things on that channel that you cannot do here. A long time ago, let me see if I can't get to it. A long time ago, I made a what am I trying to say? I made a video, and it was the 50 best comic book or cartoon theme songs.
There's 50 to choose from?
50?
Yeah.
Dang.
But the thing is because I was how do I get into my account? This is why I don't really I don't go on Rumble very often, because I'm like okay, here we go. Okay, now where are my videos? My content. Okay. Yeah, I don't really make a lot of, I should just put all the videos here. I'm very lazy about it though. Let me see if I can't get this video going. I wonder if they're going to demonetize me here for sharing my video there. But this was it. I made this. I had to cut everything down because you can only use about 10 seconds worth of a song. And in order to avoid the cut, I kept cutting down and cutting down. Hey, True Believers, England teen here with the 50 greatest superhero theme songs. Now, this is my list, obviously. So if you feel I'm adding something that shouldn't or leaving something off and you feel, what, I need to rip this guy a new one, go right on ahead. Just explain why you feel that new one needs to be ripped. Now, I got these off of YouTube and other sources, so I do admit the sound is not always 100% depending on which one you should just get to the... I wanted to go original, but there was one song that was recorded before the superhero show. So I
hate Orange Spider-Man.
So
that's so garbage.
I mean, once again, it's my list, right? Anyway, with all that aside, and no further ado, as they say, let's get this party started. Okay, here we go.
David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. And now, when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs until he can find.
I think I may have just done 50 superhero themes and not just animated.
Yeah.
Fun fact, actually, they had to open it in the Field show. That's how it goes.
Faster than a speeding bullet.
More power than a locomotive.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Superman! Evil, come on, May. They are fighting all to save the day. The ambiguously gay.
Oh my.
That's right. That's where the ring are about.
Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo.
This actually a pretty good show.
The animation was really good.
It's not really good at all, but you know what?
We got the iron skates in here.
Yeah.
Right
But
here.
once again, I'm doing the songs here, not the cartoon.
Wait, he actually did more than just review tacos?
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventures, they are ready to fight. Blue banner, belted by Gamma Ray, turned into the Hulk.
and Glamour Race.
Wrecking the town with
That's the most cheerful explanation.
Yeah.
He's like a pickle. He's green.
Makes you feel he's a cool except with a heart of steel.
and Iron Man, all just a place.
We're in 60, right? We're in 70.
Veronica's going way too low. Way too low on this list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, this would be my dad's favorite.
Oh, it's a homaji.
Hamaji. And Mike Pence.
Yes. Like,
Across the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the God of wonder.
Mighty Thor.
I knew it was me.
There you go, Glenzer.
Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than a human eye.
Get him on.
Oh, that's a more modern one.
That's Netflix.
Why did I show the channel?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, I know why. Because did it.
Okay, theme song aside, this was a really good show.
I love that show. What's that, bro? You trying to show me your bullshit? Fuck you. What's that, bro?
Fighting all evil deeds.
I need to watch this again.
Oh, this was hot back in the 70s.
It's
This is
so
a
hot.
thing? It wasn't even a joke.
Saving the
Oh,
day.
there's the Friday X. That's why I was like, this is
This thing never happened.
Coming your way. Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are.
Oh,
Still good better next song.
Venom. That show got me.
Oh!
Now this is the theme song. What's on the side?
On a wing and a prayer.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who
Dang.
chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is doomed, and the red and the
Kill
white
those people in the theme song.
when Captain America
Bye bye.
Yeah.
So far, anybody agree or disagree with anything that should be on the list?
Why didn't you give me any should be on the top 10?
Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
First Avenger. I love that movie. Good movie.
That was it's a very underrated Marvel
It's
movie.
super underrated.
This should be higher. This is a slam.
I love that.
Even Spanish are amazing.
to destroy the evil
I
forces
think that's my
of
show.
The universe, whatever.
Early 80s. I'm more of a B-Boys.
Yeah, I think I just did superhero theme songs.
Yeah.
Still the best theme of Avengers.
Mighty Morphin.
They went away for the rock group. Yeah.
Yeah, Brave and the Bold.
Here comes Speed Racer.
He's a demon on wheels.
This guy murdered
He's
people.
a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone.
I've been to two Transformers conventions this past
Racer
year.
X was secretly his brother. You're spelled there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
agreeing. I said this is just
This
the
This
same
one
as
was-
the Tick theme, by the way.
is great.
This one was cool. I did appreciate this one. I liked the whole show, Brave and the Bold.
It's always great. Fun fact, actually, we would have got a show of the Superman and
Hot take. Raven the Bold is part of the Batman series.
I don't want to.
I watched a few episodes of this when I was younger and I turned it off.
Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe!
Fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe was there.
G.I. Joe.
The fact that Sergeant Slaughter gave some intros for this is awesome.
Now unleash the dog of wonder.
Oh, why am I looking at Scrubs?
Underdog. Because they had that one. I thought they did it better than. And I never heard.
Yeah.
I love this music. This puts a tingle in the nutsack when it comes on the theater.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
a tickle at my nutsack.
Oh. I think that the animated series should have used the
I love
John
that
Williams
show.
score.
Beyond. I love that show.
I like that these are getting closer to number one. Because I agree with the list so far.
I feel like some of them should have been closer to number one.
Yeah, that should be higher.
Well, I would like to point out how many awesome freaking songs are there that you gotta know that 10 through 1 are going to be really awesome.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, let me pause. Right, hold on, I'm going to continue it, but
I love the dog in this one. He's the best thing.
Brain is the best.
When you see like the Avengers and it's at number 17 and you know it's awesome, the reason being is there's a lot of really cool music.
I'm curious to
to
see
these
what
superhero
your
TV
top
shows.
5 is going to be.
Yeah, I'm curious about that
England
too.
Tingle. Prime has Speed Racer. And by the way, the Underdog, I have never heard that song done better
So
than
he
when
said
it was
Justice League
done in
Unlimited.
Scrubs.
Was that like the a cappella group in the hospital that sang
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Zach, did I miss it? He didn't do Justice League Unlimited, did he?
No,
let's
that
see.
didn't come up yet.
Yeah.
The My Match
That's a
comic
good
is
one.
very, very underrated. Yeah, I agree. The My Match underrated. That comic I read actually a long time ago. Actually was good. Shocking. That
All
comic
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the cartoon is still the best.
better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me continue this thing here.
Go!
Wow, not even the top 10.
Is there music playing? I can't hear anything.
I censored. I'm covering your boobs.
I was about to say.
Fighting for your rights.
No boost for you, Zach.
I was about to say, get rid of VENKMAN. Get rid of his. Oh, there you go.
Like, see,
Justice
I was gonna say
League.
if it's not in top 10,
That's a
But
good
it's
one.
number
limited
10.
though, it's a different theme though.
I appreciate that though. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, this deserves top 10.
I prefer the Japanese version, but I'll take
Yes.
the American.
With Beast Boy. Okay. Yeah, this is iconic.
Yep. The real Ghostbusters. If you start saying that they're overrated, you could be kicked.
I guess it wasn't
There
the
you
best. It's number 6.
This isn't a Fight for Fighting. Is this? Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
No,
No,
it's
sorry,
like Rip
No?
Zero.
Oh yeah.
X-Men.
There you go.
Four? Oh no. He won't have real Ghostbusters in there.
Okay, you guys can rip me a new one when we're done here.
I will.
Oh, this, of course.
That was 66.
Where's
That's
DuckTales?
That's number 5.
The next one is 2, right? That's how the numbering's going.
Oh no! See,
I wasn't winning. What's number 1?
Oh, well, of course.
Of course.
It has to be, right?
It does have to be. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, true believers. My pick for the 50 greatest. Okay,
But
I think you missed some. Where's Spectacular Spider-Man?
all right, kids. Let me know. Give it to me. What do you think I got right? What do you think I got wrong? What did I leave off? I want to know in the charts.
yeah.
And
Dark
you guys
Duck.
right here, you were saying I would have missed something. So what did I miss?
Well, you're only good comic stuff, right?
Make a great theme. Spectacular Spider-Man. Where's Spectacular Spider-Man? What the heck?
I don't remember.
Well,
that
this
one.
was probably made. What year did you make this?
I made this probably about 4 years ago. I kept trimming it. I really loved doing this, but I had to keep trimming to try to not get the copyright. So I said, fuck it, it's never going to do that.
Real Ghostbusters wouldn't be on it. It's on a comic book. Well, no, wait. Are you going comic books after?
It's comic book adapted, so it would have
Shows.
to.
I would count
No, Real
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters would count though, because Ghostbusters was made a comic book after. So
Yeah,
I
it was
would've
a
counted
movie first, and then it was.
if you're just going after like TV shows, then I'd be a Starsky and Hutch, bro.
Let's see what we get. I wanted to see Animorphs. In all honesty, I am so unfamiliar with Animorphs. No,
but no,
Iron Man
I agree, though.
Animated Adventures should be way ahead of Teen Titans, says Maranya.
Lois and Clark, the New Adventure Superman.
Excuse you, Maranya? Teen Titans is iconic.
Yeah, but
It
now
really
comics,
is.
no.
Teen
Real Ghostbusters
Titans
was based off the movies or adapted from the movies, though.
Green.
Oh, the Iron Man theme from the movies.
Superman,
Oh, well, still.
Clark looking back.
The comic
Would I
books came
make
after the
changes?
90s.
Would I make changes to this?
So
I would. I don't know. Maybe I would include the Nolan Batman, the Dark Knight music, but or there's a.
I like that.
I would have put the Mask of the Phantasm onto it.
Ooh, Patrick Sargent says the Incredibles. I would have put the Incredibles
Yeah,
theme. I
that's
love
a
that
good one.
music. Yeah.
Let's see.
Super Pets.
Or the Guardians of the Galaxy theme. That was a good theme too. Guardians of the Galaxy.
The 90s Spider-Man was way lower than it has any right to be, says Austin P. Ghostbusters was a movie than an animated series.
Yeah, because the cartoon came out in '86, and then
Hey,
the
Matej,
comic
what's up?
was in the '90s.
Teen Titans can go away. It's misting the Beast Wars themes. And some of these I'm not familiar with.
There was there's the Fantastic Four theme.
Now-
Richard is elastic.
Now, if you notice though,
Johnny is a
every
human torch.
cartoon I took from at some point in time had a comic book to it. Now, of course, as you mentioned, the Real Ghostbusters did.
It does not. Well,
But
not until
I kind of
afterwards.
counted the Real Ghostbusters as a movie. I really
as you went, because the Real Ghostbusters cartoon came. I said it came out in '86, went to
Yeah.
like the '90s, but the comic books did it come out in 1991 imprint?
Yeah, in all honesty, I never considered it just because of that. It never registered.
Now, if you're ranking like the best cartoon intros, like with Louise is there, Real Ghostbusters, Heathcliff, you said like yeah. Now imagine doing the best '80s TV shows though.
Now, hold on. We're missing. There was a really big theme song that came out in the last 2 years that I think would make the list, and that's Peacemaker. The Peacemaker theme.
Yeah, that may just. I wanted to make sure that it's most of them were original to the character. The only ones is I do believe Green Hornet is Flight of the Bumblebee.
Well, not only that,
and of course Remy Zero, Somebody Save Me. It was on their album before it was actually a theme. But I was trying to keep it to theme songs that were written for the cartoons. But those two are just incredible to me.
I wanted to hear "Hero" by Nickelback
because you like Varsity Blues.
Well,
that's not a cartoon. Yeah, before I even
it's actually there's other than Varsity Blues. Hero was actually from the first Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire.
It was in Spider-Man, but it was in Varsity Blues. It's at the very end of it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
And Nickelback, Hero can save us.
Be your hero.
No.
What is that one?
That's not in Spider-Man.
It's Creed.
That's Creed, yeah.
Okay, the other one is Nickelback.
Hero can save us.
Yeah, that's a natural voice.
Yes, he sounds like this the whole time.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Alicia?
I am a delicate flower,
Nickelback
Zach.
is not around anymore because that guy blew his throat out in the first 5
True.
years.
Yep.
That is not a natural voice. He's not picking up the phone and saying hello. Yeah, that's
I'll
not
just
a
say
natural
that
voice.
Chad, I think Chad Yeager is the guy's name is.
The
Nickelback.
potatoes.
If he blew his throat out, that's probably because he fell in hard times.
Maranya says, how I rate the best superhero theme songs is, are they memorable and do they relate to the superhero in some way?
Free Willy is not a comic book.
I did. It's basically what did I think are the catchiest and most iconic and most, and to some extent, most.
I think the objective theme is good.
Songs.
You know?
And most uplifting songs. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Free Willy is not a superhero.
And to
Free
me,
Willy is an.
I know he's just at this point he's just tossing out stuff. To me, Superman, there is no theme song.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
nothing beats John
The
Williams.
Superman theme song, but whenever I hear it, though, I'm like, I also hear Indiana Jones a little bit in it too.
Well, it is.
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like he's reusing the same sounds. But the best thing,
sometimes they do.
But if you're as much I like listening to the Superman soundtrack and opening soundtrack, I like watching the opening title sequence.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I love the Superman soundtrack because it goes straight from that into
the comic book. Yeah, the kid reading the comic book.
It goes, yeah. Oh, and I actually have the theme song with the intro.
Yeah, and
then it goes from that to Krypton. And that music is aces.
Excuse me.
And then it goes from that to like the Lex Luthor music, and that is aces. Sure. That entire soundtrack is freaking incredible.
Sir, it's pronounced Krypton.
I'm sorry, Krypton. I do apologize.
The great Marlon Brando
Kryptonites
knows more than us.
Yeah. Superman Returns, underrated movie. Please.
Yeah, Nickelback so singing put out CDs.
Back it up, dude.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just talking with Patrick. Patrick said Superman movie from 2006 said it was different.
Okay, we're comic book Thunderdoming here. Superman Returns, bad or good? He picks good. I pick bad. Go.
I say mid because
I'm the one defending it. There's no middle ground. There's good and bad.
No, hear me out.
With your mid.
Hear me out. Okay. Just because I'm a little bit negative doesn't mean that I'm not a bad guy. I want to point out it started out great, and then it went the way of Tom King stories, and sucked at the end.
I got to tell you, when I first saw Superman Returns, I really did enjoy it. All my friends saw it for what it was. I am a mark. I have told you this, guys. When it comes to superhero films, I am a mark, and I got to see Superman being Superman. I got to see him lift a freaking airplane. I got to see him lift an island. I got to see him doing cool things that even that they couldn't do back in the 70s and the 80s when they made Christopher Reeve movies. So I was really loving it. And then I thought about it. And I'm sorry. I was like, yeah, I could say when I've got it home, I enjoy it still. It's just
the other thing that really makes the one thing
Man of Steel's better.
One of the huge factors, I like Christopher Reeve movies. It is some of the things. Him saving Lois in a helicopter, Then there's a scene of him where he's, rescuing the cat out of the tree. Yep. Just doing stuff like that, simple stuff. And then you see him later on get into fights and dealing with Lex, and just being himself, Clark. It's just like that's what Man of Steel was missing. Man of Steel, like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll show the Clark, but it went straight to Zod. real fast.
I like how this started as a comic book Thunderdome, you and me talking about Superman Returns, and then Venkman turned into Man of Steel.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it.
I understand.
I put a poll in.
Look at your poll. Nobody wants to play.
Nobody wants to play. That's the whole thing. Tristan's got my fucking game. You've got my freaking readings. I can't get my own shit on my own channel. What the hell's going on here?
I'm just going to say, I'm going to get my 2 cents in, damn it. I'm going to say Superman Returns was a decent movie because it does what I've been saying Marvel should be doing, which is continue the story that you had, because it continues the events from Superman 2 and 3, but it just recasts the characters. It just keeps the same. So, like, you have people that can watch those original movies, and then they can come in and they can watch it, and they're like, oh, I remember this happened, and yeah, this is a new Superman, a new Lois, new Lex, but it's the same characters that they're playing, and it's the same events. So,
but that makes no sense.
I got my 2 cents.
Doesn't make sense because in Superman 2, there was no movie, or the Donna actually Donna far back, Donna very superior. That's bullshit.
You're having a conversation nobody's having, dude.
Okay.
Let me take this one. Okay, the reason why Superman Returns sucks is one, there is a good scene in there with the airplane, and that affects the story. The other action pieces, up until the very end, have very little to do with any type of story whatsoever. The gunshot, the gun battle on the roof, it's a cool scene to be sure, but it has nothing to do with anything else. So. That's true. Essentially, you have a great scene in the first 20 minutes and then an hour and a half of boring.
Yep.
And then at the end, you get him lifting an island of kryptonite when one piece like this, as soon as he landed, by the way, on the island, he should have been out.
Yep.
Because of the kryptonite. Now let's also talk about Lex Luthor's stupid plan. All right. So... You want real estate, so instead of buying it with a freaking $1 billion the old lady left you, you're going to throw this kryptonite into the middle of the ocean, causing all sorts of tidal waves and the worst freaking land ever. I mean, how that is not appealing. What they had, he's not going to sell it. I mean, they're sitting around, they look bored. There's no infrastructure, there's no electricity, there's nothing to it. And then it ends up being this whole thing at the end where he's got to stop one wave going to Metropolis. No, I'm sorry. That is a gigantic freaking island that appeared in the ocean. It's going everywhere in a freaking... Hey, that's great. Superman saved Metropolis. But Zimbabwe is wiped out. England is wiped out. The rest of the world is done. It was one of the most poorly written Superman movies, and I'm including Superman 4 in that.
Sorry. Question. What do we have a kid? A kid out of Superman's son.
Well, that's up to Zach if he wanted to counter.
Right before the creator John.
Well, that has something to do with the movie. That's totally different kid.
Yeah, no, I don't think this was not Jonathan Kent as far as
Zach put up his argument. I put up mine. Chat. Who won the Thunderdome?
Well, some people like watching bad movies.
That's true. I do like watching Fast and Furious.
Napoleon Dynamite, perfect example.
Napoleon Dynamite is also
gets beat by a third-rate Yancey Street gang. Just awesome.
The more I watch behind the scenes of Superman Returns and how the casting process, choosing the right glasses, everything, and just doing the scenes, it should have been a great movie. But the script was shit.
It really was. It was a bad script.
Oh,
Glenn's are saying Brandon Ruth took the heat for a weak script.
It's not his fault.
Brandon Ruth was a good Superman. He was a good Clark Kent too. He actually did. I thought he did good with both roles.
So he was at the time. He was a nobody actor. He doesn't
right.
So
it wasn't his fault.
So, but because of that, it kind of blackballed him. He said he got so depressed because it's bad. It wasn't until Arrow where he got the job as Ray Palmer where he got finally got back into acting again.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, because he was not in very many things.
Game of the Earth, he was amazing. Kingdom Come Superman. He did an excellent job.
What he was in what's it called? Not Kick-Ass.
He was
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
Scott Pilgrim. He had a small role in that. Yeah,
he was in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Not this Zack, by the way.
What? No, I put my mind. What?
Yeah, Brendan Ruth. He played Justin Long's boyfriend. He gave me some reasons why the movie was bad, and Zack didn't support why it was good so much. It's hard to say who won that round. Both arguments were mid.
Mid. Wasn't he in Donnie Darko? Wasn't that something that Brendan Ruth did?
Yeah, he played the character.
But like I said, I think those were after he started on the air, because he said he got his confidence was shaken because he felt like, he said what is it? People, his agent wasn't calling him for roles after that. Because,
that sucks. Yeah. That's just sad.
So, and I follow actors like Sam Witwer, who actually was on Smallville. He's also been in some other stuff, video games, for Force Unleashed. He said, he knows people. Like he said, I see people living in their trailers, and and they end up just going home because the minute the phones, it's your worst nightmare as an actor, is the minute because when you're hot, and it is a minute it flames down, you're done, and you never know when it's going to be. So it's like high anxiety.
What the hell?
And sure, you can save your money, but even then, it's just the point where it's, unless you're a big star, that's the only way you're going to be able to live in a big mansion. You get your thing like a show, like the guys on the CW, the Vampire Diary brothers, or look at Winchester's, guy who played Jensen Ackles. Unless you're in a big show like that, doing like 15 seasons, you're pretty much screwed, Because remember TV shows were looked down upon by movie stars. You were
for
a big
long
star.
time. Yeah, that started to end with Sopranos.
Yeah.
And then they had Lost come out, and it was like, wait a second, TV's getting serious. So these days, you get big stars.
Watch that stupid, and then watch it ended. It was bad.
Jensen Ackles did go to The Boys only because he was that famous. I mean, his role, Dean Chester, is what launched him into stardom. Because remember, he started off in soap operas, and he went to Smallville as Lana's boyfriend for a while. It's like you said, and now he's doing another show on Hulu or FX or something like that. It's a cop show, I think. But he's also guest starring The Boys. But people also
he played The Boys. He played Soldier Boy. He was fantastic.
Yeah. Jensen Ackles has also been doing the voice acting for Batman in the DC movies. And some people actually want him to be the next Batman.
I don't see that happening.
Because he's younger than Ben Affleck. It all depends on what role they want to do for Batman.
Well, remember, James Gunn wanted to do Batman Brave Bull, and he wanted Damian Wayne at that in that movie.
Well, he wants to do, but we're all thinking that it's going to be Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne. Batman and Robin was actually Dick Grayson and Damian.
At the start of the Grant Morrison run,
Yeah.
That was after Final.
I think we're going to see some movies. We're going to see some movies before all of this
came out later.
Okay. We're going to see some movies that were not announced. That's just a thing. A lot of people, I think, are seeing the. I don't know. I thought I was talking. I'm sorry, guys. Go on ahead.
Who are you again? I'm Professor Pickles. I don't.
There is a lot of fuck a donkey. Seriously, guys. There are a lot of things that were not announced. I think that we're going to see a lot more. I know everybody jumped on James Gunn because they're not seeing the things that they've seen before, and they want to. I don't think he had a chance. I think if he came out and said, we're going to do a Superman movie, a Batman movie, and a Wonder Woman movie, I think the same people would have yelled that we're just seeing the same shit over and over again. But I have a feeling we're going to see a Superman. I have a feeling we're going to see we're going to get Henry Cavill. Also,
I would love. Well,
No.
Disney's been doing those live actions movies.
Yeah, I want going ahead. I'm sorry, Venk. What were you saying?
I was saying with Disney's doing those live action movies, like they did The Lion King, which was I still think was bad. They should do Darkwing Duck live action.
No,
let's get that Disney.
No, don't.
That'd be so bad.
No, what they need to do, they need to do Darkwing Duck, but they need to do the animation style that they used with like Puss in Boots or the Spider-Verse movies, like that 2D, 3D style. That would work.
I want cool. Howard the Duck level of animation in the 80s. It's Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, let's get that going. Why not? I want to see other interpretations in universes as well.
I want to screen share something, but the two things.
Okay, why not? There you go. Okay. What are we sharing?
Well, this is the thing I do want to talk about. It's like how you feel the old monument training.
Okay. This I'm excited about. This is the one thing they announced Marvel did that I'm excited about. This is before the whole Contest of Chaos things. This got me excited because I've been going through and reading the Hickman. I've read through the Hickman Fantastic Four. Skip and Ash and I were about to start doing like Hickman's Avengers run leading up to Secret Wars. It has me really excited. Because Hickman doesn't do things just for the heck of it or just because he wants a Marvel paycheck. He's got to have like a really kick-ass story in mind to want to revisit the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, so I'm excited.
The last time we saw the Maker actually was in. I was telling you on Discord, Zach, was actually in Spider-Girl or Ghost Spider. He was no. Actually,
you said I thought it was Venom.
Venom Cates. Yeah, Venom. He was trying to get back because he saw that there was an Ultimate Thor's axe there that still existed. So he was trying to get back to his original. He theorized, hey, my symbiote is still, or using the symbiote power, he could get back to his original universe. And at the end, he actually does. He disappears.
And then you made it burning.
So my thing is
probably because that was Donny Cates. I know Donny Cates does a lot of the interconnected, branching together stories.
So here's my thing. If it's Hickman solo writing by himself and doesn't bail again, leave it into Gary Duggan, I'm good for it. Because remember it's an Elseworlds. It's Ultimate Universe going. Actually, he's gonna have an Ultimate Universe.
Ultimate Universe is dead, so it seems like they're gonna bring.
But it's coming back with a vengeance.
No, but
either they're gonna bring back the Ultimate Universe. Yeah,
I mean it's possible.
Kate's Venom.
We're gonna let my ride go back home because my ride to me even doesn't work. I'm sorry. Since Marvel will people go to fuck up. Then mine is to go home and go to open universe when you do the executor in that universe. Because Marvel won't people to move forward, then fine. Let mine go back home and he could be Spider-Man in that universe. He could be same Spider-Man in that universe. Problem solved. It's fixing the problem. Fixing my life is current and move forward. I know it's not a solution. I know it's a solution I don't like, but don't let me have love at this point. It's just sad to put in, but I like Miles.
I was gonna say that I do like the fact that Hickman is taking initiative to do this, but if he's not sticking on it, though, at this point, we've already had a crossover. They had the Secret Wars thing where they merged.
Yeah,
where they had Ultimate Universe fighting against them while their worlds were collapsing before it led into Doom saved it all. As I think it was Battle World. Like I said,
Battle World.
Yeah, I do hope that they actually he sticks with it because I don't want to go and invest in something, it's really great, and then he decides, you know what, I really don't want to finish it, and then the other big thing that's gonna fuck us over, it's Marvel. Marvel has to put the modern stuff.
So Ultimate Invasion is only a 4-issue. Or a 4-issue thing. I think there's going to be more that comes after that, but I'm with you though, Venkman. I think Hickman needs to stay on it and needs to stay on it, be the architect of it all
permanently.
Yeah.
If he leaves and this thing collapses again, then we're going to in the same trouble like X-Men is. X-Men right now is in a horrible spot because we wasted all this time to record stuff. And all this build-up for an ending that made no sense. And now more is not building now. Because reasons. Good job, Marvel. You destroyed a great character before by Ben Riley. You destroyed his character.
Oh, you're talking about
Oh,
Ben Riley.
God.
Okay, I was
Okay.
but you know, in Marvel, they're gonna. I mean, they don't have any good writers in Marvel left. You know, DC.
Jed McKay.
Mark Waid leading the DC, the Dawn Universe. He's got Jeremy Adams,
Joshua Williamson.
You know, it's like you got
Mark Waid.
Yeah. Well, Mark Waid's not working with Mark Waid. Mark Waid is Mark Waid.
Universe. It's looking amazing. World Finest.
Wait, that's it. This whole time they had Mark Waid from the past. They brought him to the future. To right.
There you go. They figured out time travel.
Yes.
No, I agree. DC does seem to have a whole lot more competent writers than Marvel does. Marvel's got a few. They got Jed McKay. They still got Ram V. For Donny Cates, if he ever comes back from his sabbatical, I think would be good.
So this is my writers I would have. If you're gonna have 4 writers, I would say if you
that's right. Then Spider-Man book is
you have Hickman. If you want to bring back Cates, if you can't, get one of these writers.
Let's finish the ASM one.
Hang on, let's hear the writers that he had. Hang on, hold on, Tevye.
Sorry.
So, you say if you can't get Cates, get one of these writers that are running. Like you could bring in Peter David. The hell of it,
yeah.
Bring in David Michelini, or even Chris Claremont. Chris Claremont could write the X-Men tie-in to this story. What's going on?
Get P.J. Tomasi. Let him write Spider-Man book.
Well, I don't. Is Tomasi even working over Marvel?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
I know that. That's about it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Gleason is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. Like I said, there's not many writers at Marvel. I mean, Jed McKay is cool, but I mean, like Jed McKay, I dropped this current Amazing Spider-Man, or not Amazing Spider-Man, but the Mary Jane one, because they're forcing him the basically write Mary Jane as being a bitch, like they've been writing her in the main series. You can't let them do their own separate worlds, because if they don't want to do continuity, then don't force us the crappy continuity. I just want nothing. I just want to have a standalone, like Kate's was world building. For example, the Murphyverse over at DC. One guy oversees everything, and then he chooses who he wants to write, and then that's it. They're not bringing in outside stuff. It's like, hey, let's bring in the topics like what's going on. Oh, it's COVID, or bring it. I don't need world references into the new stuff, into my. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Ultimate is the last one. That's the one event I'm looking forward to. Chaos War can die for all I care. I don't give a damn about that event. I'm done.
Yeah, Chaos Contest. I wanted to say, like, isn't it Contest of Chaos? Isn't that what happens every summer at Marvel anyway, from all the continuities clashing together?
Yeah. I was looking at as far as Jed McKay's new Avengers lineup, and that's the same.
I like it.
I don't want Sam Wilson in there. Get rid of Sam Wilson. He should not.
Sam Wilson.
He's not Captain America. I don't care. It's stupid to have 2 Captain Americas. I want Steve in there. If you're gonna do Avengers, Steve.
I think Steve is going to be. They're teasing this whole new Invaders team and Sentinel of Liberty. I think that's where they're going to stick them.
Yeah, is that even like tied to anything though?
I don't know. The story hasn't gone far enough yet. I don't know.
I guarantee
there's the whole Captain America event, the Cold War event that they're going to. Event number 4 or 3. It's what is it? Yeah, Cold War.
That's what I was talking about. There's so many crossovers that you never get an idea or a feel for what the status quo is. They're always, we're going to change it forever. We're going to change it forever. This is going to be this big. The Marvel universe will be transformed forever. From what? From what to what? Because if you're always changing, if you're always making a big ass story, if you're always doing all this, there is no status quo for us to be in fear for losing. And they're never because people buy it. They might not be buying in the same numbers as they used to be, but the people who are buying comics are buying this shit. So
my comic book store, he said they're selling better than they were back when Straczynski was writing it before One More Day.
Really?
I'm a DMS.
He's selling at least about 70 copies,
Is it because of like, is it the variants or is it the story? Like, I would think it'd have to be the variants.
I mean, he doesn't get all the variants, so he's still selling more than he normally did before. It's just what it is. People who are reading this enjoy the story. I'm like, you know what it is? Because when I've heard people said they don't like Mary Jane and Peter Parker to be together,
what
they do exist.
Yeah. Oh no, that's what what's his name? Jabba the Slot said on Twitter. I didn't see firsthand because he has me blocked on both my accounts. But apparently he told somebody that the decision to not have Peter and MJ together comes from Marvel editorial. They do not. Somebody higher up there does not want Peter and MJ together. Who don't know why.
So you know what's not Caseta? Caseta left, and they're still doing it.
Was it Cebulski?
Yeah, he's the only one that's left.
That jerk.
But who knows? It could be even higher up, for all you know.
Who's higher up than Cebulski?
Cebulski.
I mean, who? Feige?
Who actually runs Marvel? Because there's people behind.
I think it's Feige, isn't it? Feige? I thought Feige was in charge of all Marvel.
Well, I think it's Feige.
I thought Feige's a spokesperson. He's not really. He's like the Morgan Freeman. He tells you what's coming out.
I don't know.
Right?
I saw a rumor. I saw a rumor that he wants to even leave MCU and just wants to go work for just like Disney as a whole. So I don't know how accurate that is.
I think it might be time. Once again, I went on a little bit about why I think he screwed up the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe. Anyway, I do believe maybe it is time to step away. One thing I would like, or if you put me in charge, I would start separating the movies. I would start making sure that each film, each franchise has its own look, has its own feel. Captain America shouldn't look like Spider-Man. They're two different characters. It's the same thing I had with the Snyderverse. He made every character look the same. No, sorry, it doesn't work that way. The two that didn't look like each other made money. Sure. Wonder Woman and Aquaman were their own creatures and they made money. The others, Suicide Squad, well, they made money, but they were not well received.
I think we did a bad movie.
And the Marvel, watch the first few Marvel films leading up to the Avengers. They were shot on film. They had their own look to it. They had a different cinematographer.
Iron Man.
And then when they started filming on digital, they started making everything look so alike that became homogenized. And I think
Civil was a great movie. Civil was fantastic.
That is what leads into a lot of people feeling fatigue because they've seen it. It looks like the last 10 films they've seen. And you got to make these movies feel like they are the franchises that they are. Yep. And not
part of
the entire thing.
Part of it too is like, I know a lot of people said this with Ant-Man. I don't agree with it so much, but I can see their point. Hold on. I like Ant-Man.
He literally said part of it, and then like in the middle of it, you decided to jump in.
Hold on. I enjoyed Ant-Man too, but a lot of people said that it felt like it was just a commercial for the next however many Marvel films. Like I know Age of Ultron was even like that, and I love Age of Ultron. That's probably my favorite Avengers movie, actually. But there are whole scenes that we know Disney higher up said to Joss Whedon, "Hey, you need to put these scenes in to build up Thor 3 or Iron Man 3, whatever odd movies."
Promos said that
it's too much interconnected. Like there's too much. Like, hey, we have to make sure people know that the Ant-Man is in the same universe as Captain America and that they're all, it's like, it's not so much about having these individual characters on their own story. Now they're jamming these branches in from other movies and other franchises. You didn't get that so much with like Doctor Strange or Ant-Man, the first one. So anyway.
Yep.
Get out of there.
No, I want to point out that
I want to share something from that DD show. I want to talk about something for a sec. I'm trying to screen share everything.
Oh.
Anything?
Are you changing subjects?
Kind of.
Hold on. Okay.
Let Venkman say
let Venkman go first.
Subject. Go.
Okay.
On the whole Ant-Man thing, the biggest thing I hear from people, they turned MODOK into a joke. I'm like, if you read any comic books,
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
the face. I mean, I honestly would have preferred if they would have kept the shield on the cover, but I did like the fact it was like a thing changed on. But I also want somebody who's like, oh, he was a real threat in the very beginning, you know, like, you know, with Kirby and them. As like I said, I read that issue.
He was in one issue.
One issue.
It came back. Now, my thing was, like I said, they killed him off in 1985. They killed him off in the Captain America thing. They didn't bring him back to 10 freaking years later, and then after that, he had 3 retcons. But he was trying to. But the whole point of his argument, he was trying to say, "Oh, they didn't turn him into a joke into the new, tourist writers." I'm like, what do you mean by tourist writer? Do you mean like 2012 and out there, or are you trying to say like? Because he was turned into a joke way before that.
Yeah,
he's always been.
I don't know, but
you see any of the cartoons that have him in there? All the cartoons, they make fun of him too.
I'll end to this. Whenever I read anything with him, I'm reading in Cartman voice.
yeah, he's a joke. That's all he is.
I'm going to go a different route. Earlier tonight, if you go to the beginning, if you jumped in, you didn't watch the beginning, I explained one of the things I didn't like about Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man is an entertaining film. It's not a good movie. I don't recommend it unless you're going to see it in the theaters. What it's got going for it is it's beautiful. That being said, the best villain in the film is MODOK.
Well, Kang. Kang is great.
Not Kang. Kang has acted well. He is not a good villain. And this big ultimate villain of the Marvel, this Phase 5 or whatever we're entering into
Phase
right
5.
now, has been beaten twice. Once by freaking Ant-Man. I'm sorry, they're diluting him. The best villain in that movie was MODOK. Yeah, when he flipped his face up and he was daring, he looked ridiculous. But as we all know in the comic books, he looks ridiculous. That being said, he was the biggest threat. He was the one that took more to defeat. He really was. Ant-Man got into a fist fight with Kang. They threw a couple of discs at him. He's done. But Ant-Man was in a fist fight with Kang and lived. Yeah. I'm sorry, but no, it's
Well, this was also not the big. I don't think that this is the big Kang that the whole movie is going to be based around.
Big Kang. Remember,
because then you see there's the spoilery secret credit stuff.
So I can ask: is this the King that Loki met?
No.
The variant.
That was a different one. Yeah, he was like the peaceful one.
Okay.
Yeah, he who remains.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, it does tie into Loki going season 2, which actually was a good show.
I'm actually excited about. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw that scene. I was like, oh, I'm actually excited. I wasn't excited about it before.
I mean, I did like the fact that that the whole line with Cassie saying like "Don't be a dick." That is literally Paul Rudd, Scott Lang. Oh, bro.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I love
that's
Cassie.
something he would say. Now, the whole thing with the police. Okay, so the thing in the beginning with her, with the police car in hand, that was them trying to insert some politics in there. But it was so fast done with. I didn't care about it.
Also is probably the most realistic part, because if you are going to have somebody fill that void, it's going to be the younger college age character.
Exactly.
And then also it's trying to reinforce this whole like father, like daughter type of trope, I guess, that they were trying to go for. Like, hey, Scott's been in jail a bunch of times. Now here's Cassie doing it.
I will disagree with Angleton. I will say you can watch this on Disney Plus.
I'm
gonna go see it in 3D. You probably enjoy it in 3D though at the theater.
I want it in 3D.
Yeah,
in 2D.
But do you have to watch this movie? Not really. It's not like we're saying that you have to watch. Like everybody thought Miss Marvel.
Yeah, remember like Phase 2 or Phase 3 when you had to see everything? Yeah,
I'm just saying the best thing, the best way to see it is on the big. Gail came in. I muted the mic.
I know. I was watching. I was like,
I was about to say I didn't know who you were talking to.
Yeah. But I'm just saying the best way to see this movie is on the big screen because of the best thing about it is the visuals.
Is it? Yeah. Is it as epic as Aquaman? No, it's not.
No.
But is it like? It's still, to me, I thought it was still an enjoyable movie.
I thought it was on the same level as Aquaman.
I love the there's a scene in there where they get the core, and you see the trailer where you see Ant-Man talking to another Ant, Paul Rudd. That cracked me up. We get to see a lot of Giant Man in this too.
Here's something, and I'll say this, and I'm 100% honest in this. I hope they prove me wrong with the whole Kang thing, but I hope that every movie from here on in just blows my freaking hair off.
Remember, after Kang Dynasty, we're going to be Fantastic Four.
You have to have hair to get your hair blown off, eh?
That too.
It was his back hair.
It traveled. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I got angel wings. So yeah, the entire thing isn't even good. You are having them all fighting Kang. It doesn't make sense to have them. What I think if it's Kang, and then Kang Dynasty, people are going to get bored of the same villain. Let's see, Batman.
I think
what are we talking about?
The concept of Kangs.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's the
I don't know what Patrick was talking about.
Let's see, because Zach, have you seen Cocaine Bear? I'm going to go see it.
I'm not really tired.
I want to go see it with Gail, but Gail doesn't seem excited about it. I don't understand. It's a bear on cocaine. How can you not want to see that?
I've heard it's really gory.
Snakes on a plane. Snakes on a plane. The title sells it. Let's go see it. I don't need to see it.
I want to see it, though.
Movie called Cocaine Bear.
If you don't want to see the movie because you don't like Cocaine Bear, well, guess what? We have Ray Liotta in the movie.
How would I compare Ant-Man 3 to Black Adam? I would see Black Adam twice more before I saw Ant-Man 3.
To me, they're kind of the same for me right there.
I was about to say, I put them on the same level.
Much more. Black Adam is so much more entertaining than Ant-Man.
I think I would put them on the same level because I like Paul Rudd's Scott Lang a little bit more than Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam.
Don't matter. I like the Justice League or Justice
Society.
Anything in Ant-Man.
I do love the Justice Society, as you all know.
Look, that's part of why I love Black Adam as much as I do, is because I think they really handled Justice Society well.
Yeah. I just say the movie bombed, which breaks my heart because we could have Harry Bushman back. We were this close.
Yep.
No.
Boo boo! Look at all the sugar in this Pick Plus Nick basket. Oh, boo boo!
Oh, it's Yogi. Boo boo.
There you go. Boo boo! Look at all this sugar in this basket.
That's not sugar, Yogi.
Okay. Hey, I didn't know how I was supposed to get that. Hey, boo boo! Look at all the sugar in this pick.
I told you I think what I'm talking about before.
Okay, so you're very, very interested in changing the topic that we've been talking about for 15 minutes.
Well, not exactly. It does relate to
what
Marvel.
Is the topic, though? You want to change it to this? Just let us know before we decide we want to share it or not.
Okay, you want to change it to us.
The Authority.
Yeah, the Authority. This I do want to talk about because this is James Gunn's next plan, which should have been the Authority. The Authority, I'm confused about these guys. Why are we bringing them into the main DCU? Because aren't they Washington characters?
DC owns Wildstorm, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've owned it since the 90s, actually.
Here's the thing. It depends on who made the decision. It could be, you've got to understand, Hollywood kids, The Boys is very, very successful.
They really want
Authority is the closest thing to The Boys that DC has.
Suicide Squad. It's Boys, yeah.
Well, no, there's one element with the Authority which is great, and then there's Mark Miller Authority, which is bad. Mark Miller Authority is just could be all general assholes. I don't want a fall team who are gentle, but they kill Katie.
That's Mark Miller. Mark Miller and Garth Ennis are both very much like that. They write crap characters. I mean, they make them bad people anyway.
Like Nemesis. Well, no. I'll say Stephen Grant writes just like Garth Ennis.
True.
You look at more so on Jennifer Blood. Have you ever read those series through Dynamite?
Never read them.
Literally a woman going around getting revenge, killing her uncles that killed her father. and caused her mother to commit suicide. So, and she's a housewife too. So she's living 2 lives, and she's going out at night, with a wig and stuff, killing and getting just gross revenge. Stephen Grant followed up Garth Ennis, who created this character, and Stephen Grant. I literally, if you would not told me it was Stephen Grant in the title there, it just kept the flow going. Remember how we used to do that with DC Comics when Chuck Dixon would start a series and Gail Simone just kept it the same?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Gail Simone did her thing and she kicked ass. I'm sorry.
But I can't. I gotta say, I did flub a little bit. The only new writers who've done this in the present day is Joshua Williamson going from Flash, and then you had Kevin Shinick who took over for 2 issues, and then you had Jeremy Adams. It was just seamless. They really, the only thing you could tell different was that Wally took over as being the main Flash.
Which made me happy. You can walk with my Flash or with my Flash. But get Billy. Go
But
Wally.
This is crazy though. DC's allowing not only to have Linda and Wally be back together and their kids, she's pregnant with a third kid.
It made me so happy. Because if 5G happened, 5G would destroy Wally more because
5G still went. 5G went. They had Wally.
No, 5G did not go.
5G is still happening through all this universe. It's just they kind of tell the future state.
5G safe.
Geek, I would change that a little bit. Like so many others, Gail Simone used to have talent. I would
she
change
has
that
talent,
last
but she
word.
chooses not to. She's more political, right?
What she lacks is passion.
Yeah.
She's got more passion for Twitter than she does the comics. And I think that's one of the problems we've got now.
Well, it's like I typed in right after him. I think she probably still would have talent. It's just that editorial, whoever edits and okays, just like lets whatever go through instead of actually holding her feet to the fire and be like, you're better than this. Make the story, better.
It's very good.
So,
okay, and that 4-story building, Ahsoka is wondering if we'll respond to her. Let's see. Ant-Man went from Ant-Man went from being an ant size to being a 4-story tall building in an MCU. They literally had so much fluff and stuff. They had Ant-Man ant-sized and then 4-story building height, and that 4-story building height has been the height he has always went to when he turns into Giant Man.
What?
It's a comic book movie. I'm not gonna. I didn't go into it expecting to pay attention like I do during a Chris Nolan movie.
Are you saying for logic in the comic movie? Logic equals no.
So you hated the fact that he went up in Ant-Man 3, he went the Giant Man size?
Yeah, I don't get that logic. Cassie went giant girl, giant amazing.
But she passed out.
That's true.
So he's built
because she wasn't used to it.
Yeah, he's getting used to it though.
I mean, I'm cool about that.
Because Civil War, he used it for pretty long, and like I said, and then who's to say he has?
He used it in Ant-Man and the Wasp too.
Yeah, Ant-Man Wasp too.
In Ant-Man, he's still passed out, but you get the feeling, as you said, he's practiced. He's more used to it by the time Endgame and Infinity War hits.
When people try to tell me that Cassie's a Mary Sue,
bullshit.
No, she didn't know how to.
She couldn't do the punch.
There's the whole scene where she couldn't punch the guy, and like her dad had to walk her. And even after that scene where Scott has to like show her how it's done, she still doesn't get it right.
Yeah, she doesn't get it right on the first one. Eventually, she gets it, but she does it wrong a few times, even after he explains it. Yeah, she's not a Mary Sue.
Yeah, she's not a Mary Sue. Whoever said that is.
Is it the same? Is it the same? The usual suspects who are calling her Mary Sue? Or
Well, I didn't see. I don't even have to watch YouTube. They probably are. I assume that.
They probably are doing that.
But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they aren't. But Twitter is.
There were a few of the usual suspects that I recognize.
Twitter. I've seen a few things, but like I said, on Twitter, it's mostly I got involved in that whole Aunt Jemima syrup thing. It was really stupid.
I don't know what that
actually, while I'm commenting on it, I'm thinking this is really dumb. I've got better things to do, but I kept commenting. Why am I doing this?
That's what happens to me on Twitter.
What were we
I could be working.
The Ant-Man. I forgot what I was talking about.
I think we're talking about the Authority.
Authority. So.
Oh yeah,
Authority. The boys. Yeah. You know what? This could be a chance. We got the girl who's I forget what her name is, but she kind of looks like Jocasta, but is actually human. She has nanite, her blood.
Yeah,
There was a crossover with Captain Atom where her came to the universe.
Oh yeah, Captain Atom again. Hang on, screenshot.
No, we don't need to screen share. Fine. But if DC does it right, they don't have to be as edgy as I mean, they've learned. They've seen how crappy Titans has got. They don't think they don't.
Don't mind me.
But they have the perfect example. DC, you've seen how they do The Boys. How that's. You can still put comedy in this. And you have Suicide Squad. The fact that James Gunn is going to be at the helm, I'm sure he's going to influence who's a director. He'd be like, dude, like, this is what we should be doing here. Compare that. But the fact you're going to have Apollo and Midnighter on this team, two.
Midnight Apollo.
That's for me. I hope they don't do the stupid thing. I'm Alex. I'm gay. I don't want the CW woke gayness. If you want, I mean, don't make it all about the fact they're gay. Yeah, don't be like, oh my gosh, like I don't need a stereotypical. You pattern to people who aren't that way because Hollywood is fake. They do not know how people act. This is one person putting their own crazy spin on the world and assuming this is how gay people act.
Which is bullshit.
Just because you're gay,
I like my gay people flaming.
Yeah,
I'm a big terrorist who went to destroy Yummy Bendix.
That's The Simpsons, by the way, guys. It's a quote from The Simpsons.
I had a gay friend who was prissy, could not catch. No, I didn't kill him. No.
Is he tied up in your basement?
I'm not even gonna make that joke. That'd be offensive.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh, sure. Zack's racist, but I'm not gonna tell him the offensive jokes. Sure.
I've been hanging out with Zack too much. Tell me these jokes. No, but no, he couldn't catch a football, or we threw a can of soda, and he's like, sure, and then he screamed because he couldn't catch it. I was like, what is that? But then there are the people who are gay that act. I mean, if you say
normal, it's okay.
Yeah. No, you cannot tell. They're out, but they're not openly stereotypical flamboyant. I think Hollywood is pretty much said that. Oh, all gays are like this now.
Yes.
They're all.
No.
Yeah. It's the wokeism in their attempt to be equitable, in their attempt to be kind and accepting. They have decided that they're only going to accept the stereotypes of a certain demographic.
So that's
what's on Midnight Apollo not like that. They mess this kid up, then you can kiss this kid goodbye. Because
and I mean, it's like saying everyone in Florida sounds like Prospector Willie,
Bullshit.
Well, fuck you.
I mean, not all of them have relationships with sheep, okay?
Yep.
I'm sorry, donkey, sir. I have said this many times.
Exactly. See?
Do not misrepresent us.
Donkey fucker, you're clear to land.
One thing I'm intrigued about with the
friends call me donkey fucker.
Which story are they gonna adapt? We're gonna do one Elder story, or we're gonna do Mark Miller's story with everything falls apart and everything goes stupid.
Dude, I'm afraid to look at your Xbox gamer tag. It says Donkey Fucker 69.
No. You know what? Actually, I got banned for a week because you know how on the original Xbox you could put you put your profile and then you could have a quote.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm playing shooting games, I love True Grit, and my favorite thing is when he's on the fill your hands, you son of a bitch. So my quote was, "Fill your hands, you son of a bitch." And somebody complained, and I ended up getting suspended.
Damn, that 9-year-old kid was teabagging, calling you a little bitch.
Yeah, right. Some 11-year-old won't stop using the N-word, but
everybody thinks, oh, you're homophobic if you don't like the gays that are in comic books. Well, no, it's not that. I don't mind if you have a gay character. It's just don't write them as what they're not.
The problem with the idea is that they forced it down to example. But that didn't be the end of bullshit. They destroyed his character for crap. I don't care that John's gay.
Yeah,
it's not right. It's not what.
it doesn't. We don't care that John's gay. We've all said this.
No,
John.
Just write him
he
as
was
being a
never
hero. He
established.
should want to be just.
Have it happen organically.
He was never established. So him being gay has nothing to do with anything. What bothered us is he got aged up.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what pissed me off.
Yeah,
That made me mad.
Even the fact that it didn't happen organically, I don't even give a crap about that. He should want to be a hero just like his dad. He shouldn't want to be an activist because he has superpowers. If he chose activism, he becomes a dictator.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Henry Bendix. Oh, worse.
Okay. Let's see. Maranya saying Kate Bishop in the comic book was a Mary Sue. I read that. Hells to the freaking yeah.
I disagree. I
yes.
at all.
In the Hawkeye series, no way in hell was Kate a Mary Sue. I agree with that too.
No,
she had flaws. She made mistakes. They explained in one sequence with her training. Yeah, she absolutely was not a Mary Sue in the TV show. She was absolutely in the comics.
She said she spent a summer at band camp playing a cello, and that's how she could use a bow.
If she was a Mary Sue,
most never.
Yeah. So
go ahead. I'm sorry, Vink. What was it?
I just want to say, yeah, she's a Mary Sue. She purposely intended to destroy that bell tower at the beginning.
Right. Most never knew Kevin Conroy or Ian McKellen were gay.
It's true.
Twitter's a rage trap.
True. I'm fine with that.
Says Undead Quinn. MK, oh wow, that's quite a story, Ahsoka. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy, he wasn't hiding
about dating a best friend with.
He just wasn't who he was. He's Kevin Conroy. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Cassie and Kate Bishop weren't even OP in the movies. They were nowhere near. I agree. I got reported and banned for a week way back on Xbox because I said Yankees rule, Red Sox suck.
What? That's a false statement. The Red Sox are better than the Yankees.
I can say it.
ZACK reported.
Get banned. I'm going to report you now, MK.
And I have been. John was never established. He got aged up, and that got me. Yeah, if I've said this before. I said this before. If we saw him grow up and he went through all of the stuff again, they could have told that story. They could have told that story. My problem is they will tell that story. They'll make it a 12-issue miniseries called Coming of Age. We'll see him growing up, and it's going to be written by a wokester who absolutely has no respect for gay people, even though they are in fact gay, and they're going to write the most stereotypical story. It's going to look like every gay neighbor from 90s sitcoms. Hi!
No. And you know what I think of? Every time I see Tom Taylor, I'm doing this for the gays. And then he's like, you're not. I'm making money.
You know what?
It's so fake.
I was going to say something. If my wife heard me, I'd get
killed. It's the whole it's the whole corporate thing. If you want to tell me, you're trying to tell me that Marvel and DC are not racist or homophobic, look at how they treat they treat everyone but white people. White people are horrible people. So we could have white privilege. But look at, we have Black History Month. We have Hispanic, month. We have June Pride Month. What's next? We're gonna have Asian. We probably have Asian month now. Probably
they do. There's like Asian, something.
But if you're white, you are told you're racist. It's Women's Month. Yes, that's another one. It's sickening. It's like
Women's Month.
Because, but yet, they all these different races, apart from white, have all this. Everybody catering to them 24/7. Say they're oppressed.
What?
How are you oppressed?
What's it? The Bo Burnham song, where he's like, "I can sing in Mandarin, but you would still know that I'm pandering."
There's also the Little Mermaid controversy, which doesn't quite by itself. I don't want to talk about that.
I'm going to talk about that on the Disney Channel, mainly because I think what the girl said was far more racist than what anybody who is against her playing has said.
I don't care about that movie, but I know it's going to be bad.
Say often what these studios do right, says Geek Hero, make what they do wrong so much worse. That said, several Phase 4 shows did better with these characters than the comics. I will say this, one of my favorite things about Phase 4 was Hawkeye. I know the Black Pills went heavy, but that was a fun show.
Wasn't well, actually, no,
I think it
Hawkeye-
would have done a little bit better as a movie, but I did enjoy it as a show.
Hawkeye and Loki are both Phase 4, right?
Hawkeye and Loki,
Loki?
yeah.
Hawkeye and Loki. It was
Hawkeye, Loki, Ms. Marvel,
Wanda, which you know I loved.
I love WandaVision.
Falcon and the Snowman, which you know I've never respected because I refused to say the freaking title, right? Then Loki, which was actually good. It had it was not great.
I agree with you. Loki and I didn't care for Wanda, but I understand that it was still decent. People like it. I never was a Wanda, and Vision fan, so that's why it didn't really appeal to me. But
I give myself what you want to be Wiccan and Speed. Those characters I'm looking forward to being other kid from Young Avengers.
All right.
Okay.
So
now
Loki and Hawkeye, I loved. When it got to Miss Marvel, I was scared because I had no idea what was going to go on, but it turned out to be better than I thought it was going to be.
Miss Marvel is probably 3rd or 4th place.
I'm so excited. I've never been excited for a Marvel movie, but like the Marvels, because I've been hearing everybody's been saying that. Now this is speculation. This could be false, but they're saying that Brie Larson's going to be out of this. There's a passing of the title torch. You're going to see Kamala Khan's going to stay as Miss Marvel, but you might see Monica Rambeau be the next, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
That'd be interesting.
That
would be interesting.
Now, well, the other thing now here's the counter argument to that, because why should I care about any of that afterwards? Because look what they're going to do now. We had Anthony Mackie saying that I'm not going to be aggressive like Captain America. I'm not going to lead.
Anthony Mackie is making me want to not see this show. Everything he says, it's almost like, fuck the guy you loved. You're gonna not really. First he says everything as if it's an insult to Captain America, and then he says it is in a way that doesn't endear me to the new Falcon at all. And let me tell you something. I liked Anthony Mackie ever since I saw him, and I think this might have been his first movie, We Are Marshall. I liked him as an actor. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, here we go. And I didn't really know his name though until he, of course, got hooked up with the Avengers.
Frank movie he was in with, but he took Frank Grillo and his brother was injured. He basically kidnapped Anthony Mackie's wife and forced Anthony Mackie to help
houses or something.
I don't know, but it was a straight to Netflix movie or whatever, and it was good. You know why? Because there was no any sentimental because one's white, one's black. There was none of that crap, none of forced diversity, all that shit. It was just basically like having a 90s kind of like a Bad Boys in a sense, where you're two people who do not like each other, forced to work together, and end up being friends at the end. So Ahsoka, we did read it before. We didn't read it off, but it's the creator of Gravity Falls. Come on, say that Disney would not let him put a gay couple on his show. Gravity Falls was probably the best Disney show I've seen in like a couple of years.
Yeah, that Brown family.
No, it was Gravity Falls and the new DuckTales are the only two modern Disney animated shows I've watched.
Falls.
That was
insane.
Tron Uprising, underrated show. That show was great.
Gravity Falls was very, very clever. Like it was aimed at kids, but there was so much like secrets and code breaking and story. Like my sister, like when she got into it, she was like wearing tinfoil hats watching the episodes. Like she was theory crafting and everything. It was insane.
I wonder if go back and watch the Phase 4 stuff. Now that it's done, now that it's out of it, you've heard the bitching, you've heard the moaning, you've heard everything from me and everybody else. If you go back and watch it with the mindset that you're going to enjoy yourself.
The only show that I enjoy,
I don't know, maybe. But if you go back with that mindset that you want to enjoy yourself, could you actually have more fun? Is it? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I've always said, definitely with the algorithm, we create a bubble for ourselves. We are insular within it, and the opinions and the vitriol bounce back and forth. So when you break out of that particular bubble, are you able to enjoy some of the stuff that has been put down? And I would even ask you, is there something that you see all of the YouTubers on this side of the culture war aisle have gone off on, that you watched and you went, I enjoy it.
Well,
Fuck culture war.
I
never get that culture war. Didn't bullshit from day one. I never get damn that shit. All I get is a good movie, a good show. And when I got for Faithful World, well, decent. Now there was some bad stuff. I can admit that. Black Widow, disappointing. It was a disappointing movie. I know in a movie. Eternals had potential, but got so boring and waste of time. Doctor Strange was amazing. I love that movie. I was a fan. Perfection. I love that movie. Screw your haters. And for Scott with the villain, amazing.
Talk about movies that you've seen that you disagree with what he just said. The critics, the black pills.
Yeah. Is there something that you saw that you don't understand why me or any of the other people who are fighting on this side, or can you go? Have you gone back and enjoyed it more? How about you, RDV?
The one I always get confused because I think it's The Last Jedi. No, not The Last Jedi, but what was the one?
Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker? Not the third one, the middle one with Luke.
That's Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. So that one I watched, went into it. I was like, oh, look, there's an evil ginger on the Sith side. I was like, it's Zack. As I went through it, though, it wasn't that bad. The only thing I had a problem was that this guy comes in, whoever the director was, decides to ignore the first
Ryan Johnson
ignores the first movie. So Snoke was pointless. But then I can see people's arguments that they were going to make Finn like a Jedi or whatever, giving him a lightsaber. If anything, you would have gave Han Solo a lightsaber back in the day. He probably could have used it, but not as great as twirling it around like a baton, like a gymnast, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I watched it. It wasn't as bad. The only thing I didn't like was Mark Hamill sucking on the alien's tit.
He didn't suck on the alien's tit. He milked it. He didn't go up to the alien. He didn't do that.
I'm just glad it wasn't sticking out a wall and he was milking it to get filled glass.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got the milk coming. Just okay, here it comes.
And then you hear Han Solo. I know.
By the way, yeah, these are the skills from Under the Bridge, guys.
Yep.
No, like I said,
we are a family show.
So yeah, that movie gets so much flack. The movie I'm actually gonna I haven't got to watch it, but I actually do want to watch it. It's Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel?
Because so many people have said that's a bad movie, but so many people have said that Point of Dynamite, it's a great movie. So I'm like, it could just be mid. And that movie is a bad movie. It just means it's emotionally flat. Just like I like Ant-Man 3. For you, it was kind of like I watched it.
Yeah. I had this Dalton, when we did our review, Dalton liked it. I did not. It's not that I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, because I really am an Ant-Man fan. I'm an Ant-Man fan, and I am an Ant-Man movie fan.
So me going into watching Star Wars, though, with the whole Last Jedi, I'm not a huge uber Star Wars, the prequels. I'm not that into it. Uber nerd like that. I like 1, 2, and 3. That's all I like, because you're actually that bullshit.
World 4, 5, and 6. Well,
Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars. They're the only 3 that exist.
Yeah, that's the trilogy. You get prequel trilogy at 1, 2, 3.
I think the big mistake in Star Wars was playing the DC challenge with it, where you get a different director and writer, different director. They should have had a story. They should have had a story that was planned out, and they should have filmed it all at the same time. Especially when you've got to understand that your youngest main star is in his 60s. Okay, Mark Hamill's in his 60s. That means Carrie Fisher probably up towards her 70s, and we all know Harrison Ford was in his 70s. Film it at the same time. Plan to make sure that everybody gets to see the 4 main characters with Chewbacca on screen together in some way, shape, or form.
Off topic. MK want to let you know that Megan, the actual rated R cut, is on Peacock today.
Wait, what?
What? They
Megan,
did a rated
movie?
R cut of Megan?
Yeah, the original cut is
on
released
Peacock?
on Peacock. Yeah.
Okay, we'll watch that then. Yeah, I want to see that.
I'll watch it tomorrow.
I've been going through the Harry Potter movies with Hogwarts Legacy. I've been wanting to
That's
rewatch the Harry
amazing.
Potter.
Yeah.
I love my game.
Yeah.
So I'm up to I just finished Order of the Phoenix last night, which is probably my favorite of the movies.
So I'm also an easy guy to please. I watched the Dragon Age movies. Not Dragon, but what was the Dungeon and Dragon movies back then? We had Sean Wayans, whatever his name is. Marlon, I think it was. I can't remember which one it was.
Marlon.
Which one?
Yeah. You got Scott Wolf in there too. Scott Wolf.
Yeah.
Are you going to see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Yeah, but do I expect it to be anything great? No.
No.
Let's go
It's
for
going to be fun though.
You know, it'll be enjoyable. Like I said,
think it'll be fun.
I love going to Blockbuster, getting straight to DVD movies, the Dolph Lundgren movies with straight to DVD, the Jean-Claude ones with straight to DVD. And you know what? I was satisfied with those. You know, I don't need
Sorry.
I was gonna say I don't need the theater experience for some movies. You know, some movies it's cool, but every movie does not to me has to be in a theater.
Well, see, I don't pay for most of my tickets, so I get the theater experience.
All right, too. Oh, bro.
No, I get free tickets from the theater.
Hold on, MK. Where did you hear that DC is supposed to refer to Shazam as Captain or Captain Kid? What's that?
Yeah, you were saying that the other day.
I read about that. That was that's it. I think that's coming from Mark Waid's new book. They're going to start calling him.
I'll tell you what, Zach's. Where did you hear that from?
I think it was that as a CBR article is where I saw it.
Interview from a YouTuber who interviewed Mark Waid.
Luke does not go to the glory hole. He goes to the force hole. They're
going to be calling them that as an homage to Captain Marvel, like his original name.
Thank God.
Which I like Shazam. I would rather just call him Shazam.
Always will be his name. Captain Marvel's name from the very beginning.
The problem is that if they call him Shazam, then they need their the new champion is Shazam, Mary Marvel. They need to keep calling her Mary Marvel because you're calling her the new champion of Shazam.
Bullshit. Her name Mary Marvel.
Well, the other thing too, this is a huge spoiler for anybody who's not reading Lazarus. They have the wizard is evil.
Wait. Oh yeah, right. Planet.
He's aligned with Hera, who killed Zeus. Yes, I read the Wonder Woman issue because I wanted to see how bad it was.
Wait. How did he kill Zeus?
You went all out.
That makes no sense.
Because someone came from behind, stabbed him in the back as he sat up on his throne, and she's like, "I'm the captain." She's on the
Zeus. Zeus has jilted a lot of women, so he's made a lot of women angry. If you read Greek mythology,
the whole thing is that Zeus was Hera was waging war against the mortals, and Zeus said, "Enough of this woman. I am king." You know, and basically, being a feminist bitch, she got a black guy to do it. The wizard. So she got someone else to do it. Like I said, but now is that out of character for Hera to do that? No, Hera's always read lore and also watch Hercules' Legendary Journeys. She killed Hercules' wife, kids.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
she did. At the very beginning. So I was like, oh my gosh, because she was jealous. She's jealous that Zeus was going around having sex with women, and she's upset. So she's going around killing all the guys.
I understand what she's coming to. She didn't get hard by the scumbag, which makes sense. But then I know, don't go after the kid. Go after Zeus himself. Oh wait, you can't do it, but he eats the king of the gods. Shit.
What was Captain Marvel Jr. was
Captain Marvel
Freddie
Jr.
Freeman, right?
Freddie Freeman. Yeah, Freddie Freeman. Yeah.
That's the one character I will be happy to just disappear from the comics.
No. We need Captain Marvel Jr. a lot because he had the Albert Predator's favorite hero. He made Albert Predator.
Is it Hitler or Willow? What did you say?
No. Elvis, the rock star.
Elvis? Yeah.
He actually loved Captain Marvel Jr.
That's true. He was a big Captain Marvel fan.
Yeah, but he's dead. We're over with. We're going past.
That's true.
He's all shook up.
That's true. Yeah, but
I literally thought you said either Hitler or something else.
I never Hitler. No, fuck that.
No. What do you mean fuck that? That would have been awesome. Like Freddie. I was gonna say Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Hitler.
Yeah, I know. Freddie. What was his name? It's Freddie something. Freddie Williams.
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman.
Pretty Man going there in DC Comics. Like, I don't know. It's the point where I'm just like, there's certain titles I'm excited for DC. But I'm also like, all right, I got 1 foot. I still have 1 foot out the door before it comes to certain other titles. Flash, I'm both feet in because he's proven to me. I don't care about the legacy numbers, but it's been going on since Rebirth. What are comic book series that's current, or even can you say, or even before that in the 2000s, that's still going that hasn't had a new creative team come on and just ruin it?
Besides, Superman had a creative with Tomasi, great.
But how many issues though? Magic. Yeah. The only thing I can say that before this is if you went back to basically Marvel in the 80s and the 70s, you had Spider-Man, you had the Fantastic Four, you had all those. I mean, Spider-Man before it got to Volume 2 was in the 90s.
Yeah,
it had 400 issues. This is for one volume. I'm excited for what's going on with the Flash because the fact that it's so seamless, the stories, no matter who takes over, and when Tom Taylor takes over, it's going to be even better.
Tom Taylor's not taking over Flash. That's not going to happen.
Why you gotta encourage Jay like that, man? Yeah, I'm glad he's not here.
I know he's not here. That's exactly.
We're screwed.
But I don't know.
Tom Taylor can write his own stuff. Write the series, write Titan. That's it. So as soon as the book ends, turn it for the gun. She is John Kent. Your experiment failed. You're talking about I didn't judge the crossover. Then we're done. It's over.
It's like if Breen only had one comic book on his couch that he could pull out.
I know you're turning into me with one. Where's my one more day?
I was about to say you have one more day. He's got young John Kent.
Yeah.
I don't have a comic that's broken my heart.
I can't say I know you do like the character. You like Captain Marvel, but I don't see I don't recall you ever saying you're a super fan. But would you rather have a really good not Captain Marvel, but Shazam, Billy, whatever story written by himself or with his family?
I would have Shazam live by himself.
I was saying not Tevya.
Yeah, he was asking England team.
Oh, yeah. I want to have Shazam cut them all at have his family.
Tevya.
Well, this time around,
Tevya.
I'm asking the guy above.
We were asking England team.
Oh, England. Sorry. Continue. England team.
Okay.
All right. Now you talk to Tevya now. Let's get.
So, anywho, in all honesty, I kind of think that Shazam is the family. I mean, like, granted, the single character is awesome, but Shazam has always had the Shazam family. So I'm not against that. I like the interactions. I would definitely, if it wasn't the whole family, I would definitely want him and Mary Marvel. And I would not also mind that if they were to do the Shazam family, they did the Golden Age where we get Taki Tani and we get Uncle Dudley and so forth. I think that'd be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't mind the Shazam family at all.
Yeah, because this is Wiz Comics.
Yeah, you got them over.
Is that the new facsimile?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I gotta go get that.
Yeah. So in this issue, he's by himself in the very first issue.
Yeah.
To
Mary Marvel first appeared in the Marvel family.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
Oh my gosh! Look.
No.
That's the banner. They wouldn't pay.
Black Adam first appeared in. Which one did Mary Marvel?
Mary Marvel and cut them all family, like you suggested. And they cut them all.
I did a comic book origins. One of the more successful ones, actually, as well.
Yeah. I love cut them all. I love his story. I love a kidder.
Yeah. So this is
we destroyed them, but thank God we have saved them.
He's gone. I was gonna say he needs his beautiful desk.
Oh yeah, the desk. The beautiful desk, $1.
It's only $1.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What year is this?
1940s.
Well, I'm looking for the year, not the decade.
Yeah.
It actually is 1940.
Yep, I was right.
You said 40s.
Well, close enough.
Yeah, I was looking for mine. I've been collecting these things. You know, I still haven't finished Worlds. I don't have issue number 5, so I've been looking for issue number 5. I can't find it. So I haven't been past issue number 4. But World's Finest is a really, really good story.
It's one of the best books coming at DC next to Flash and next to Superman Action Comics.
I've been buying 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've been buying them, but until I find issue number 5, I'm not reading it. This I wish was a little bit deeper. It's fun.
Yeah, that's what she said.
It is very a shallow story, but it is a fun one. You got to give that much to it. At least it's a fun story. Yeah, I have not yet read anything past
Boy
5.
Thunder.
The Boy Thunder story is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
I love that cover.
Of course, I want to find a digital version of this so we can do a reading.
I miss good Spider-Man comics. Why can't I get good Spider-Man comics? Why? It's not fair.
Because they are Marvel. Remember, Omega Men? Jay just gave his review, kids. Omega Men, cool book.
I don't know that team.
Yeah, so I've been buying all of these. I'll tell you something that's been the surprise hit. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've heard you say that.
These are so much fun.
It's actually interesting where they're going with that story. They're about an old villain back from the dead. One day I thought they were going back from the dead, but the villain was gone. But no.
I wish I kept up with this one. I missed issue number 2, but this has been good as well. The Batman
story.
Yeah.
Is it written by the actor?
Yeah, that's the one that's written by the actor. Yeah.
This is also a very good book, but. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm getting trained. I'm starting to think time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
This, however, I agree with Eric. This is amazing so far, but it is Tom King. So if it's a 12-issue series, I expect issue number 6 or to show some cracks, and then the whole thing to start.
Dive.
Yeah.
So my top 3 comics of this week. I don't know if you saw, you guys. Top 3. Number 3 being Junkyard Joe. Awesome book. If you're not reading this stuff.
Hey, let me highlight you here, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
Top 3 is number 5 by Junkyard. It's Junkyard Joe, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. It is just an awesome book. A very emotional story. It's tied into the Geiger stuff. My number 2 was Superman, because
that was a great one. That was a great book.
Now,
amazing.
That being said, if it continues what it is going on right now, continues and doesn't tie into what's going on in Action Comics, I don't want the whole super family in this. I just want, Lois, Clark, Jimmy Olsen, Lex Luthor, and then the villains. That's all I want is the basic. So, and this says the wrap-up cover, the main cover. So.
That's actually how I feel about Batman. I would like a Batman goes out, does something solo. And by the way, I want him filthy freaking rich, and I want the story I would write is that he goes after his money.
Also bring back Alfred back from the dead. Bring back Alfred.
Let me see what we got going on here.
And then my number 1.
The Flash. I love the main story.
More or less, that was amazing stuff that was somewhat because to be honest, original episode 9 was going to be amazing before they literally had to scrap the idea. Like, seriously, they were going to have Kylo Ren be the main bad guy for episode 9 and be the Emperor. More or less, it was amazing stuff that somewhat I would have loved as someone who would love prequels and love OG trilogy. Alrighty. Like I said, I liked enough of episode 9.
Now it's bad.
This is Legacy 793, but I'm not exact. I have to go back and see what it is, because remember they went from 89 and they jumped up to 200 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that
they did that because we're getting close to 800.
I just want Chris Pine to be Wally West now.
Yeah, it's not bad casting.
He's too old.
No, he's not.
No,
what's his name from Riverdale?
Archie. No. Oh yeah, Archie. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay. Yeah,
that's so
that's good too.
So I was just gonna point out my number 4 was actually Deceased.
Oh, that was a good one.
I love Deceased.
War of the Undead Gods. And
such a great story. Holy shit, it's so good to Overdrive. Awesome, especially the ending.
Like I said,
no spoilers.
I'm not planning for you at all. But I'll just say Lobo has entered the chat in this volume.
Cool.
And we're getting our main Bastich. We're not getting the flamboyant fake one.
That one, I think that one died. I think they killed him.
Yeah, he killed him. Yeah,
he got
and there's no mention of Crush either, his daughter, in this series. Thank God.
I have put myself together a collection of these. You kind of got me started on them there, but
yeah,
I decided to keep. I decided to keep this for myself.
Nice.
The Darkwing Duck. That was
number 5. So I said heavily DC this week, but I'm getting a lot more indies titles too. Like Carnage was great. Rambi.
I love CO.
There's, like I said, the weakest books of the week were She-Hulk and Gargoyles. Gargoyles was my number 13.
Moon Knight.
I like She-Hulk. It was all right.
Well,
Thor was pretty good too, actually.
So as I point out to Eric, She-Hulk was shulking because her boy left.
But then he came back.
Yeah,
in his regular Jack of Heart outfit.
Mama Baby.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay,
but Thor was really good actually because it's Donny Cates who wrote like the main story, and it's like this guest writer, substitute writer, whoever that's coming in to like fill in the gaps.
I bought a collection because of this. I didn't see the $3.99 price tag. I was like, oh, okay, there's a big dog in this collection. Let me grab this one.
Yeah. Oh, Hero, Gargoyles, this last issue was very quick over in this kind of anticlimactic for the ending. I was
really very happy to be able to pick this one up, though.
I disagree with you, Maranya. I think it was mid, if not a little bit higher than mid.
Well, Engelton, question. I'm wondering, what do you think of the She-Hulk show? What do you think of that show? The whole end.
Probably the best thing that has come out that has featured a superhero. She-Hulk, I think, is probably the most misunderstood of all the shows, mainly because I do believe people were watching it to be serious rather than the parody that it was, not just of superheroes itself, but the people who watch superheroes. And I believe that the sense of humor was lost. It went over a lot of people's heads. Otherwise, I think it was great characterization, the way they placed She-Hulk and the character of Jen Waters above the Hulk who saved the world. Why is the Hulk so arrogant? Why did the Hulk even feel the need to explain to She-Hulk how to use the powers that he had been using for 10 years? Why would he even think that, hey, I could teach you how to be a superhero when he literally saved the world? It made no sense to me. She-Hulk is damn near perfect the way she is. She didn't need any man to come in and explain things to her. She didn't need any of that. And I think the fact that they showed that made She-Hulk wonderful. I would say is people are doing now Chef's Kiss. I think that's stupid, but what the hell? Absolutely, Chef's Kiss to She-Hulk. I mean, not only did it begin well, but the ending where she jumps in, where she meets a robot with a Kevin Feige cap on it was inspiring. I was inspired to do what I don't know, but the fact that I was inspired should have been enough. All of that with a straight face. Thank you very much. That show sucked. Okay, there you go.
Saying with a straight face, are you implying on something else? That you're...
Yeah, I say everything with a straight face. So that I didn't smile.
There is another series out by Jeff Lemire, Swamp Thing Green Hell. I think you would like it. It's a black label. It's kind of like apocalyptic towards the end.
I had that. I kept waiting for issue number 2 to come out. The first issue, they released it. Yeah.
The next one comes out in March.
Yeah, it's so, really like good story.
Oh yeah, I was so happy. Other ones, this is the Batman animated Adventures Continue.
Nice.
It's the latest one.
Well, Ahsoka the one thing that people missed that made the Obi-Wan TV show so good was, and you could see it now that you watch the TV show. Go back and watch A New Hope. Go watch what I would call Star Wars, and you will see that Obi-Wan is an idiot. And when you understand that, both movie and TV show changes, and you can understand and you can watch Obi-Wan for the masterpiece that it is. Yeah. When you realize that the character is in fact an idiot. Unfortunately, a lot of people thought, oh, he's the mentor, he's a space knight, kind of a Buddhist monk kind of thing. And they thought, okay, he's intelligent. But no, the man chose to live on a desert freaking planet away from all water. It's not like he went near a water source. He was an idiot. And God bless the TV show for showing this, for highlighting this to us. And that is the strength of the Obi-Wan TV show. And that is why, once again, it is a masterpiece.
So the other two books is this one, Monica Rambeau, Photon. That's been great. Along with the last issue of Invincible Iron Man, Gary Duggan was Chef's Kiss. And I'm being serious.
Yeah, I still can't take you seriously for that one.
It's the Raccatoonie. Yes.
No, yes.
That's
no, yeah. So even when Maranya, who is the biggest Iron Man family, gives it a 4.5 out of 5, being great. No, just the art was in this. There was nothing putting Tony down in this issue for a change. There was no Rudy Williams. I know. You had a callback to the Armor Wars. You had Rhodey before Iron Man in a freaking like a War Machine kind of helicopter thing. Just callbacks, and then the villain is now this is where we get the 0.5. You know, it could have been 5 because the villain is a fucking Hellfire Gala character that basically is kind of like he's trying to take down Iron Man and Tony Stark is just for the fun of it because he likes to think he's superior. And so basically at that point, I'm thinking like, well, that's like kind of like Lex Luthor thinking he's better than Superman, always trying to take him down a peg, prop himself up. So like I said, this was actually a really good issue. Now it's Gary Duggan. Gary Duggan is known for being mid,
It's fair with X-Men. X-Men is
but the other thing is that we get the Bob Layden. These aren't callbacks. These are Bob Layden actually drawing these today. Getting these variant connecting covers of all the armors.
That's awesome.
So
awesome.
The other one is this. This is by Cullen Bunn. But this is Sword Point Press. This is book 2, basically the Nightwalkers. These people go in and check into basically a rehab clinic and all basically there and get help stuff. They realize that there's something attacks the facility. Well, I mean, it's basically and it's feeding on their blood. So obviously it's we think it's vampires. We're not really sure. And we have basically a final girl. She's trying to survive with another friend, and they're trying to escape. They flee to a town where they think they're safe. But we're getting hints that maybe they're not safe. Maybe they went, it's kind of like, I'm trying. What horror movie was that where they think they go into town like, oh, they're going to help them. And then the town turns out to be like just more of the villains.
I forget. I forget the movie called. I don't know.
But like I said, Cullen Bunn is not known for being a good writer for most things. He's worked on. I think he worked on Wolverine. Some of his Marvel stuff is kind of mid. But man, this is another example of someone being outside of the big two, putting a book out, actually putting the effort into it, and actually making it kind of cool.
The Erica Henderson effect is what I call that. Where it's like, what the hell?
But dude,
Squirrel Girl looks like she got hit in the face with a frying pan, and then you go and you see Erica Henderson art outside of Marvel, and it's good.
Yeah, like I said, this whole book, Green Hell.
Green Hell.
Good stuff. The artwork in here is just phenomenal.
Yep.
And then. You gotta tell me when you're reading this. When they said, did you have an idea who was going to be in the lighthouse at the end?
Who?
Oh, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'm not saying because he read it.
Yes.
I'm like, there's only one man who can say it. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because it's supposed to be like towards the end of the Earth. There's only a few humans left, surviving.
Yeah, it's very much about the ecological disasters and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is okay, but the thing is the ecological collapse of the Earth of humanity is just the backdrop. It's not like they're talking about it every 5 seconds.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's anything. Do you want to see the tree parliaments? Including the Green itself. They said like they all want to reset humanity. Let's wipe them all out and just restart over.
It reminded me.
Alec is not there. Alec was giving basically his own version of peace. He's in his own heaven with his wife and his daughter. And like I said, it's so he's not there. So because the Green needs a vessel, they took a human being and started attacking the humans. So they have to go to the man. The daughter's like, well, she was told to run away, get on a boat by her dad. If anything happens, leave. She's like, and there's an old man there, like he basically is kind of like the crazy guy you're not supposed to talk to. He's like, we need to go into the lighthouse. Speak to him. He's like, but my dad said you can't go there. Well, your dad's we're out of luck. We're going. And like when you see who the guy is, I'm just like, thank you, because it's these two characters working opposite each other. It's always a great interaction.
I think I know who you're talking about. I know who it is.
Yeah, but don't say it though. Don't say who it is because other people might not know, and then when you say that, they might think oh, that's what it is.
It kind of reminded, or it kind of to me felt like it was the continuation of Swamp Thing: Future's End, or not Future's End. What was that? The mini series that was it Future's End? The
Randy one.
Future Impact. What was that thing where
Future's End? Yeah, that was the one that was like in the future. Future State.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing Future State. It felt like a continuation of that because Swamp Thing was at the end of time and it was very, very cryptic, very apocalyptic. So have a good one, Geek Hero. Be safe, man.
This is Jeff Lemire writing this. You have Doug Mankey, as the artist. And David Barron, related to Mike Barron.
Well,
doing the art and stuff.
Well, after that, I want to actually, I'm going to follow Geek Hero out here. We've been on this for 3:15 now.
I was about to say, I need sleep. I need to go to bed.
I've only been here for 2 hours.
Tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can't put together an auction. I want to go and try to buy a new collection. I'll try tomorrow. It might end up on Monday. Join us here tomorrow, 8 p.m. If it doesn't end up being the auction, it will end up being a cool live stream, and we'll do an auction on Monday. But if I can get a collection and get everything at least workable, I'll do an auction tomorrow. Kind of necessary, but so yeah, please show up tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern for that, and on Sunday, join the Geeky Puppet Show for readings and the Extreme Movie Show for talkings about
Cocaine.
I think they're talking about Cocaine Bear.
All righty, there you go. All righty, kids. Once again, don't forget to hit the likings and the sharings and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, there's a link to Ko-Fi down there. Thank you very much to everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of our true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
And they see it here.